Welcome back to the podcast, folks. I want to thank you guys for joining us, and I'd also like to thank SBC Performance, who is located in Savage, Minnesota. Their team is dedicated to get you ahead of the rest of the competition. Their shop specializes in in-house high-performance builds, cylinder head porting, machining, dyno tuning, and high-performance suspension. And if you're not in the Minnesota vicinity, head on over to sbcperformance.com to check out their new product line, starting with their new crash bar, aka the Bro Bar, fitting 2009 to 2020 baggers. This performance crash bar has sleek lines and customizable end caps. Their 100% carbon fiber lower fairing spoiler, this shit is badass. The first of its kind, fits 2015 to 2020 road glides to give your glide that racy look. Their new product line is the next step in taking your plain Jane glide to a performance ride. Shop them at sbcperformance.com and give them a follow at sbc_performance on Instagram and SBC Performance on Facebook. And don't forget to use FastLife at checkout to save yourself 10% off your entire order. The Invisivin is for those who want a cleaner look without the risk of removing the down tube VIN label. Those big ass stickers are eyesores. The Invisivin is a steel powder coated cover with the strongest N52 rare earth magnets to keep it in place, even for those who stunt, but still be able to remove it for inspection. All covers are made 100% in-house in the USA. Covers start at $39.95 and make an immediate difference for those who ride hard and want to look good while doing it. Head on over to invisivin.com and throw that Fast Life offer code in to save yourself 15% and give these guys a follow on Instagram at Invisivin. Check them out, folks. My dude John Jessup in his shop in Stockton, California, which is the spot for in-house dyno tuning, parts, service, and bike sales. TeamDreamRides.com is a great place to dump some of that stimulus cash or take advantage of the 100 days same as cash financing on all products. All you need is a job and a bank account. And don't forget to give the team a follow at DreamRidesJohn on Instagram. Check him out, guys. Love that dude. Lex Moto is growing fast and looking to onboard new dealers in 2020. Their headsets and charging solutions are ideal in any type of motorcycle shop, big or small. And Lexan has a dealer plan to meet your needs. With products that make the riding experience better and more on the way, Lexan offers very competitive dealer margins, fast shipping, and great customer service. Email them at sales@lexanmotorcycle.com and be sure to check them out on Facebook at LexanMoto USA and on Instagram at LexanMoto. Don't forget to use the offer code FASTLIFE at their website, lexan-moto.com, and save yourself 15% off your entire order. As I've said many times, ThunderMax is the upgrade ECM for your EFI-equipped Harley-Davidson. Whether you get a new exhaust, cams, throttle body, you name it, a ThunderMax tuner will dial in the necessary adjustments needed to keep your HD running cherry. Another advanced product from the T-Max camp is their iRide rear suspension system that is an auto-adjusting air ride system which gives you the best of performance and comfort for air ride. Pretty awesome. To get more info on these products and to see other products available to enhance your HD experience, head on over to shoptmax.com and follow ThunderMax EFI on Instagram. Check them out, folks. My dude's Paint Huffer is killing the paint game with tons of great flakes, pearls, and other paint-related products. If you're stuck at home wanting to possibly pick up a trade or hobby, check out painthuffer.com to see the vast amount of custom paint-related products and get yourself stocked up with tape and other items needed in the process. And don't forget to use FastLife13 at checkout. Save yourself 10% off. And if you want to see some badass paint jobs, go check out Paint Huffer's Instagram at PaintHufferMetalFlake. What's up, guys? Welcome back. I wanted to take today, this podcast, we did a hood ride a couple, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before here, or the Saturday before here in Dallas. And we got a lot of the stunt riders to come out, and we got the Fort Worth crowd, the Dallas crowd to come out. We just kind of mobbed the streets of Dallas. And, man, I've never really been a huge fan of stunt riding. Not that I don't like it. It just, I've been in the motorcycle industry for a long time. And kind of once you've seen a wheelie, you've seen them all, right? But there was something about this ride, man, and riding with, Bam, who's on this podcast today, along with Zack, who goes by Lot Lizard on Instagram. Like, riding next to these dudes and seeing these dudes control and how they just, fucking do cool shit on a bike. You know what I mean? It kind of it made me like them again, if you will. So I wanted to give them the podcast space to kind of talk about the scene here in Dallas and talk about themselves as far as stunt riding and where it's going and what has helped them transition from, the sport bike scene to the Harley scene. So I wanted to, welcome these guys onto the podcast. And if you guys want to check this podcast out in video form, it is on our website and on our Facebook. All you got to do is go to our website, fastlifegarage.com, go to the podcast tab, and you can watch this podcast. Or you can go to our Facebook, which is a link to it on the front page of our website. So up to you what you want to do if you want to catch that video form. If not, man, just, enjoy it right here. It's a good place to listen. I want to thank you guys for sticking with us, and I'm going to go ahead and pass it on over to the podcast. Here you go, guys.
Hey, guys. You ready to let the dogs out?
Fast Life Podcast.
Dudes, that shit was wild, man. The fucking the hood ride, that shit was pretty crazy. Y'all made me like Wheelies again. Instead of like a Make America, Make Wheelies good again.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that shit so much in my life that it's almost like, okay, whatever, man. Another dude on a wheelie. But seeing it like riding down the street and seeing all that shit take place, it was just, I see how easily you can get wrapped up into being a fan of watching people stunt ride. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Happened to me. Even though we still haven't quite seen Lot Lizard Wheelie yet. He does know how to, right? Like, that's not somebody else.
My boy, he know what he doing. God damn it.
Yeah, Brad always, he's joking around. He's like, we ain't seen you do it. Maybe you got to stand in double.
Yeah.
No, but it's all good, man. Like I said, it's I've been around a lot of people that do the wheelies. I was telling you the other day, it's like I've been around a lot of cats West Coast and shit like that, and not to say that they don't have the same kind of swag or same kind of skill or whatnot, because I don't know what the fuck is what. You know what I mean? I just like, that looks cool, that looks sketchy, and like I said, Anders was killing it too. And it was just kind of entertaining, man, especially being from Dallas, man, like I said, because it feels like the Harley stunt world. It's in L.A., it kind of dabbles in Phoenix, and then it just skips over all the fucking states and goes straight to the East Coast. You know what I'm saying?
San Diego.
You said you just recently got onto the Harley. So, let's back up and talk about, when did you get into just riding and stunting in the first place? Like, how long ago?
I say I've been riding for about 7 years. About 7 years. My mom and them gave me my uncle's street bike.
Mm-hmm.
I rebuilt it, and that's when I started stunting. And then, I just went on from there, you know what I mean? And everything that I did and I learned, I just was riding. You can ask my boy, he can tell me anything, I'm going to do it. I'm a full send, whatever. You know what I mean? So that's where I started with that.
Put the mic, turn it towards your mouth a little bit. Yeah, you can kind of fuck with that.
Okay.
Keep it around. But yeah, that I was talking to him about you. He said that you had one of in the sport bikes scene. What'd you say about him? In a sense,
I said I feel like probably it wouldn't really be disputed. One of the best street riders in America, if not the best one. Him, Veggie, man. That's really, in my opinion, the two dudes doing the most on them. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's I don't think anybody else that I'm aware of that rides streets really, as far as combo and maybe some of the older guys, but in the game right now that are riding right now, I think Veggie out of California, right? He's a Cali boy, yeah.
Yeah, my brother.
Yeah, Veggie Stunts, him and Bam. That's it, I think, that are actually just doing just stupid, crazy shit like blindside Ralph Louis, scrape, jump to high chair on the streets, just.
Third gear too, highway.
Yeah, shit that you're like, yeah, right.
And I did not practice that.
Yeah.
I went straight to ROC with that.
Yeah, we'll just be in the parking lot, me and Chris Hansen in the parking lot, just watching him ride, and he'll come around each time, wave him down, and just give him some kind of new crazy, whatever you can look at and think up in your brain, you just say it, and he'll go out there all right, and go try it, and he'll nail that shit. And he's on the street doing it in a week, so it's like, damn.
So, for both of you, and I guess we can kind of touch back on it because we did the podcast with you, and it kind of got lost in the thing, but what was the main reason that got you both onto Harleys from the sport bike scene? So, we can start with you.
Well, I had got on the Harley, bro, because I was riding the street bikes and I done made it over, you know what I mean? Not breaking no bones or doing all. I just wanted to try something new.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I can ride the street bike the way I ride that, I can ride this Harley. I can ride anything on wheels.
Yeah, yeah.
You hand me a scooter, I'm going to be flipping on the scooter. You know what I mean? I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
But
So what what was the main thing that got you wanting to get into the Harley thing?
Watching Patrick Steven. Oh, well, not on the Harley thing. That was just the stunt riding in general. But on the Harleys, man, just I kind of been traveling around, riding them in a few of the different cities on the major rides, and I feel like it just kind of got a little redundant to me, I think.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like I just wanted to kind of keep the spark going, but just doing the same thing after that many years of doing it, I guess. I just kind of like, I don't know, it just wasn't feeling the same as for me, you know, so I wanted to just do something different in the Harleys or –
From like not knowing much about it all, it feels like if you're looking at the sport bike world and the stunt, there's just so many people doing it that it feels like it's hard to make a statement in it unless you do something that's just
you have to be
over
like
the top.
doing triple backflips or doing like, you know, this dude, you got to be doing some like ridiculous, to be at the top of the game, like to say you're one of the better street riders in America, like you got to be doing some shit that's super unsafe. Like,
What about the you know, so like with the sport bikes and stuff, you know, y'all do the things like ROC, which was basically like everybody just comes to St. Louis basically and just takes it over.
It's like Sturgis, but for sport bikes, except for not really condoned by the city, so they really don't like it because you're going to be mobbing the city all weekend long, all week, you know, and just going out on a little small. Everybody meets up at a spot, and you know, everybody kind of just goes in little groups of 10 here, 12 here. They go ride, they come back, and then it's like, you know, Bam came down. Bam's in town now. He's just unloading right now. Like, let's go for another ride. You know, round up everybody, and everybody goes for another ride, and then comes back, and then Jason and them showed up from over here. Like, you know, then everybody gets together again and goes for another ride, and that just happens like all weekend long as people come in and leave, and everybody just kind of. And then on, like, you know, Friday and Saturday night, everybody goes out and gets hammered, way too drunk at some club or wherever.
Yeah, I've never been to St. Louis yet, man. So I'm think I'm gonna end up hitting it this year.
You should go to ROC. It's
one thing
something
about
different.
Hey, one thing about St. Louis, I can tell you though, bro. Y'all streets is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But we still manage to ride.
Yeah,
you know what I
they
mean?
got super busted streets.
But other than that, bro, it's
a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. We had more fun on the hood rides than the regular ride. I mean, I know I can speak for that. I mean, I did.
Yeah,
I had more fun on the hood rides with different people. Like he said, riding with different sets of people.
Would it not be you know, like when you get these big ass like groups of people together, doesn't it get a little bit kind of hard to maintain? Because we were kind of talking about it, not to name names, but like when we did the ride last weekend, actually, the weekend before last, it seemed like, you know, you got the other guys that have been doing wheelies that they want to get up in the front and start kind of like showing off their skills, but you know, they don't really have the control on the road to stay in their lane or, you know, things like that yet. So how is it when you go to like a ROC when you have everybody and their mom doing the shit? You know what I'm saying? Is it wild? There's a lot of wrecks?
It's
bikes catching on fire, all types of stuff I didn't see.
Yeah.
It's a trip, hey. It's something to experience, and you don't have to be on, you know, sport bikes. Harleys are there, mopeds are there, Groms are there.
And Sit Down Steve's the one that puts it on, right? Or is
the Street Fighters put it on.
Oh, the Street Fighters, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but he is a part of the Street Fighters. Sit Down Steve, Junkyard Kenny, Guru, Adam, I think. I don't know.
All good people.
All good riders for sure.
Yeah.
So how'd you end up getting set up with the Str8up people? The Str8up.
Well, I went. We had did a ride in Houston, and if I'm not mistaken, was it it was the ESR ride, I believe.
Yeah, the streets.
And they had came out. Yeah, like they had came out there, and I seen them and stuff, and then I liked the way they operate and everything, and then I was just chopping it up with them, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, so you just got to rep and whatever. And a couple months went by and everything. And then I flew out to Cali. And that's when I got put on. And then I got sponsored by Cali Motorsports helmets and all that. And then, that's when my journey really started. But
and that was sport bikes though, right? So they brought you out there on that. Yeah. So I don't know much about the Str8up thing at all. I just know that like Roger and a couple other people from like the San Jose area are on the team. So what is it? Like, what if you were to kind of like talk about what it actually is?
I mean, like, we a big familia, you know what I mean? It's family, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I love my bros because they do shows. I mean, they we raise money for kids. I mean, they do a lot. We got the BMX, we got the little kids on the BMX, the SC bikes, the Harley division, the street bikes. I mean, we have everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to keep the mic in front of you because you come on and off.
Okay,
so
my
just
bad.
just stick it in front of you a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be that close, but just stick it so when you move around, it stays in front of your mouth. Because it goes on and off and on.
It records like this.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's cool. So how is those dudes all came from sport bikes too, and they evolved into Harleys as well. A lot of them. Like I said, I don't know, so I'm like asking the question to kind of get the vibe. Roger's supposed to have done this a million times, but we keep scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
He's a busy ass dude out there anyway. So
Yeah.
No, that's cool. So you ended up flying out there and just kind of kicking it with them, riding and shit like that, and then they just said, "Hey, you want to join?"
Well, it really started like everybody was saying like they wanted to see me and Veggie side by side, killing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I went down there and I rode a bike that was all stock basically. Brakes really didn't work, none of that, and I was mashing. You know what I mean? And then that's when all the family was like, "We love you." You know what I mean? Basically, and I just been down with them ever since.
So, and I already asked you this, but I kind of forgot. Are you from here originally, like Dallas area?
No, originally I came from I stayed in Tulsa, Oklahoma. My father was from Cali, California. Yes, nice. Yeah. And then my dad got killed. My uncle died in 2005. He got his first street bike in 03. And then I used to watch my uncle and them stunt. And then that's when my mom and them gave me his bike. And then that's when I rebuilt it. You remember when I rebuilt it? It was like a million different colors, and then I got it red and black with the Chucky on the tank, and then that's really when I start, committing and actually riding and stunting. Call myself a stunt rider.
Yeah,
I used to do power wheelies and all that crap thinking I was doing something. I didn't even know what a handbrake was or none of that stuff. Like I used to watch Harley and them when I first came to Dallas, Chris Hansen, Tony Santos, and I was like, I want to ride with them, you know what I mean? And that's when I started messing with Harley and them. And then I just been riding ever since. But I wasn't stunting when I was riding with them. I felt like I was a big squid.
Yeah.
But I was learning though also.
Yeah, I remember the day. There's one day me and Hanson both said it was one day he came and he rode with us and we were in just he was towards the back where he was watching me and Hanson were just putting on the show kind of, and then we didn't see him for I don't know, maybe a month or two or something. But then when he came back, it was he was the show. I was like, damn. Where the hell did he come from with that?
Yeah.
He came out of nowhere, and since then we're just like, well, let's see what else he can do.
So where were you practicing at? Like how'd you just found a lot around here, around your own spot and shit? Because you were originally living up in North Fort Worth before you moved to this side of town, right?
Well, we used to go to Verizon lot in Grapevine. I used to go mess with them out there, but I come from the streets, so I used to ride streets a lot. Yeah. So everything that I practiced and everything, I really was in the street. So,
yeah, street's kind of weird. I never really wheelied much. Like my wheelie days is power wheelies.
Yeah.
From back in the day, we used to leave the Sonic spot and shit like that. And whenever stunt riding went from most of the people that were on the streets would do wheelies, and every once in a while you'd have a guy like Greg Fowler I mentioned before, who he'd just pull up a wheelie and he could ride it from here to Tulsa. You know what I mean? He literally had that kind of control, knee in the seat, covering the back brake, and he can just send it down the road. And then you had Patrick Stevens doing stuff and this was before circle wheelies was a thing even on sport bikes. You know what I'm saying? So 04 around, there's probably a handful of people kind of pulling it off. And so people back in the day, when we were kind of doing wheelies, was just all about just fucking power wheelies on the highway and just ride that motherfucker out basically. You know what I mean? And then the scene got it grew quick from the outside looking in. I just remember it went from one day everybody was on the highway just kind of smashing wheelies, and then it turned into now they're on the highway doing 10 miles an hour with a fucking crowd stopping the traffic, doing circle wheelies and burnouts and just acting a goddamn fool. Yeah. Which for some of us other riders, that kind of fucked up the set for us, because we all got blamed for it as well on sport bikes wise. So you'd be cruising around, and then I remember Arlington went through a zero tolerance motorcycle policy, probably 06, 07, where you were almost guaranteed to get pulled over from a cop in Arlington, Texas, if you were riding a bike through there, because they had it out for bikes, because like I said, the stunt thing it got to where we used to ride wheelies with the traffic, and now we're stopping the traffic to ride wheelies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So I don't know. I don't mean to throw shade on the whole stunt community, but that's just kind of what happened, you know?
It did screwed up in Dallas. That was the memorial ride back in.
Yeah, I remember a cat died, and I actually went on that ride, and I was on a Sportster at the time because I kind of was at the point of evolving or transitioning into the Harley thing. But I went on that ride, and man, same thing, man. We all met up in like Frisco area or like George Bush and something like that around the tollway, and it was just a mess. Like I just couldn't. I was like, fuck, man. I didn't have a license. I was like. Even though there's like 100 bikes out there, I just felt like I was going to be the one to get pulled over, you know?
You don't have to be first. Just don't be last.
Can't be the slowest. That's right.
Yeah. But no, that, you know, like I said, man, just the scene here, like, you know, all the people on the Harleys that's been doing wheelies, it just hasn't seemed like maybe people haven't been putting enough effort into it they weren't from the sport bikes into Harleys, but maybe they picked up a Harley and they wanted to start riding wheelies. It's like the progression seems so much slower versus someone, I guess, like in y'all's case where you already have the ability to wheelie and shit.
Yeah,
so
we already have the muscle memory, you know. So
yeah.
It's just learning the balance point is a little bit taller. You know, the bike's heavier, so there's just more engine brake, so you're not really using the brake as much. There's only just some pretty minor things, but once you know how to do a wheelie. I mean, you can wheelie anything, you know. If you can wheelie really well, like have full control of the bike. I mean, you could get on any bike. That's why you see the guys, they're on the 110s now, or they'll be on the Supermotos, or the Groms and the sport bikes, or the Harley. Like you can, it's interchangeable.
The overthinking part that I would do, which I have no desire to wheelie. I need my hands way too much.
Yeah.
And I played basketball like 2 months ago, and I fell and I caught myself in my hand. And I had a sprained wrist for like 2 months because I'm old as fuck now. You know what I mean? So like I don't need to be wrecking in any kind of shit like that. But when you see those cats, like you'll see the videos online where they're doing the wheelie up and they're up in the air, and you'll see them just start to kind of fall to the side and they don't recover. And it's like almost like it's almost like they got knocked out and they just fucking fall down like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It feels like when that bike's in the air, it's like all the weight's kind of like above you with the engine and the front end and stuff being up in the air.
Sure.
Like the controlling it.
Yeah.
You know? And like I said, when I was watching you do those wheelies and the way you kind of pretty much manhandled that bike, and as small as you are, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I just felt like, there's a trick to that, to where it isn't just about having muscles and working it, but just kind of finding the balance left to right and everything, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
That's it, really. Just gas to brake input till you get it to balance, and then lean left or right, kind of. It's pretty simple. It seems simple once you do it,
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like anything else. Anything you do, you can. But take us to like the corners and stuff, with some guys that haul ass and. Like y'all's guys, like we can't keep up with those guys,
Yeah.
Probably not. I can't.
Yeah.
I can.
It's all different,
Yeah. Just different riding.
Yeah, for sure. But it's cool.
You guys must have smoked before we did this.
No.
Nah,
I smoked before.
I ain't smoked nothing.
It's all right. We're in California, dude. It's legal here.
Smoking anyways.
No, it's all good. What do you think? So now that you guys are both in the Harley world, like, what do you think about it? Like, does it feel like the scene's young enough to where it has potential to do things and still grow in the tricks and maybe even business side of it and shit like that, or do you even look at it that way?
Yes, I do. Like, they really like you said, they focusing on the West Coast, East Coast, and all that. I mean? I know they put a lot of content out there, and I think that's where, like, a lot of us out here in Texas and stuff, we don't put enough content out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think that's really where the hold and the stop is. You know what I mean? But y'all sleeping on those Dallas riders, period. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But I'm gonna try to bring different tricks to the game. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like, I'm gonna be doing some different things on a Harley. And as a matter of fact, when I did when I did the podium, I already seen a couple people already trying it on the Harley. And I know that's because they watch me do it, or you probably, posted the picture and they see me do it, and I like stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can move on to the next and try something different, and hopefully, because
that's kind of what it is. It's like like I said, like skating back in the day. They do something, and then like, well, that's like the new bar. Like, and then somebody comes out and. like Dom doing double hand drags now, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, eventually though, like right now it's the beginning, you know, so it's kind of easy to progress kind of with it, but you know, in 10 years they'll be doing, you know, who knows, dragging their hands on the ground or who knows what.
Well, I didn't really think that the hand drag, from not knowing much about it, like you would look at the hand drag, oh, that, you know, whatever, they're already back there. But now after seeing more of it happen and seeing guys like, you know, riding with you guys and seeing, you know, not necessarily, I don't know if I saw anyone do it on that ride. I'm pretty sure someone did, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I did it.
Okay, so I want to say I saw something, but like I saw the pictures you posted where you damn near had your elbow on the ground on that one. Or I guess it would be kind of considered it because it was like, you know, within an inch or something from the ground.
The whole forearm. That's kind of like the new that's the new.
It's that tall boy shit, huh?
Yeah.
And then right after bro did it, he called me. It was like, bro, if your hand ain't full flat, it don't count. So I was like, no more fingertips. No more fingertips.
That's what they were telling me. You know, you touch the finger, you just touch the ground, and that's like good, you know. And but then they're like, oh, you post it on the internet, and you know how it goes. But if you ain't got your flat palm, it's no good. You suck, basically. So then you got to do the flat palm, and then once you post that, then everybody like, oh, so and so is dragging his fucking elbow and his face on the ground. So,
well, it seems like the when you would to do a double hand drag, like the balance of the bike with your whole body being pulled back, like it seems like, I don't know, like that.
Yeah, you gotta have it dialed in for sure.
That's some off shit,
super
man.
straight back and control. Like,
yeah. So is like you that video you posted where you tagged me in where you were kind of sitting in the tank, kind of doing. What are those things called again?
Spreader.
Yeah, spreader wheelie.
Is that really popular in the Harley thing? It seems like kind of like a fucking tank sitter, and then you do the wheelie and shit.
Spread them, yeah.
Yeah, in the sport bike thing, it's a big thing.
Yeah, I remember
because
that.
You
shit
have
back
a lip
in the
on
day.
the tank, you know, or a dented tank, so you can jump to it. So it's not big in the Harley scene because not many people have a lip on their tank to be able to hold your ass once you hit the tank, you know. But like, like Rob,
that
Carpenter
red
had one, you know.
Oh yeah, he does.
You know, Jason Pullen has, I think he has just some HC Moto up there or something on his. I don't remember, but there's some guys the guys that do, you know, like they're jumping to the tank and they're doing high chair wheelies and shit like.
See, even though like I know the complexity of doing that, it's got to be wild. It to me, I guess, because it's one of those tricks that I remember watching back when Wink 1100 was doing tricks and shit like that back in the old Rough Rider days. Like, it doesn't come off to me as like, oh, that shit's old as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't have that, I don't know. I guess also, like we were talking about before, like, it doesn't have the swag factor that I think looks cool. When you see certain wheelies taking place or certain tricks, it kind of looks badass. Like, you look like you don't have, I don't know, when you're sitting in a high chair, it doesn't have like this, I'm trying to explain this and I'm fucking like sounding weird as shit, but it just doesn't have this like powerful look to it going down the highway. You know,
I think it has the most powerful look.
Like I said,
because when you're sitting on the tank and your legs are hanging over the front of the bars, and like you're just chilling like that, looking at people, they're just like, you know,
well, I guess on that way. I guess on that.
People looking are just like, oh my god, like he's sitting all the way on top of the bike.
Yeah, I guess I get that part, but
it's hard. It's hard.
And when I was talking about like that whole deal, like to me, I think the coolest thing is like when you're just cruising a wheelie down the street and you're able to like take your other hand off and like point at people, wave,
blow kisses,
just like all over the place. Like to me, I feel like that to me, like, oh, that looks cool. Like, that dude's definitely getting laid sometimes.
Yeah,
you know what
style
I mean?
matters for sure. That's where you get the good.
Like I said, some wheelies just got, to me at least, the way I look at it, is like, man, that has a lot of style to it versus the other ones that are probably more complex to pull off. It just doesn't have that look. It's just the same way people talk about doing, drifting and burnouts versus, not that those are easy, but, it gets the wow factor versus like dude doing circle wheelies on a Harley,
Yeah.
If you burn your tire till it pops, you'll have the most crowd reaction out of everybody at the whole stunt show.
Yeah.
And, a new chick rider on a Sportster with a couple of 20 minutes worth of practice can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Fucking win the show. What do you think? What do you think is like the next for you as far as like the next trick that you're trying to bag in the deal?
Well, this asshole is going to make you have to learn how to do podiums. So I guess that's what I got to do next. I haven't even tried it. I've barely been doing seat standards and stuff because if he's doing it, you kind of got to be You got to be keeping up.
You got to be flexible as fuck though to get your feet in those different areas.
Yeah, I have the knee surgery, so it's a little difficult for me. But I'm long-legged, so that helps too. So
it probably helps you out with the hand drag shit too. It's because you can kind of easily.
Kind of, I think. But really, it's not really about how far back you can reach. It's really about because you're not really reaching back there to get it. You're just putting your hand back there because the bike is so tall. Mm-hmm. The way to touch it is to bring the bike taller all the way back. Not try to reach to touch it because then you get off balance trying to reach.
And you said you've only had this Dyna for what, 2 months now, 3 months? What was it?
How long we haven't done it now?
I think probably 3 months, 2 months,
2 months, like 2 months,
there,
like 2 months.
No handbrake,
all
throttle control, doing
Not
all
yet.
the shit you were doing out there was pretty much all throttle, like no.
It all was, yep.
Yeah.
He's a throttle surgeon. Yeah, he's good
Throttle
with
surgeon.
it. Yeah, he's good with it.
Hell yeah. No, that's to me like that's wild because I remember on the outside looking in, I remember seeing a lot of people talking shit about keep handbrakes off Harleys and things like that. Which I know that you made a statement once. It's like if you take the handbrake off of Rob Carpenter's bike, or Jason Pullen's, he's still going to outstunt most people in the scene.
Not most people. They're going to outstunt every fucking person.
But it's like
all of them.
I get it for the show aspect. Say for Tony at Busted Knuckles, like he's doing shows, he's going to these places every day. He's
got one.
Yeah, he's got one, so he's able to pull off all these tricks. It's more of a routine. Instead of like it ain't like he's rolling down the street, trying to pull off these things. I really don't know what is the better or the worse of the situation, but I don't know what's supposed to be the
just some tricks you need a handbrake. Like you can't do them without a handbrake, and it's like some tricks are like especially circles. Like not that you can't do them without one because Joey's doing them on sit downs though, but you're not really foot brake circling, not yet. I haven't seen, maybe I'm sure someone has or is or
foot brake circling what?
The Dyna, Dynas. Sports
Joey
tricks,
55, man, the boys out there. I seen him do.
He's sit down though, not stand up.
Oh, yeah, sit down. You're right. Yeah.
So I don't know, but for that, if you have a handbrake though, it makes it possible because you can stand in the seat. And so it's just like, I don't know, man. To me, the people like on the West Coast, they do their fenders different. Like they got the fender where they just chop the fender and put the solid plate back there and they paint over it and it looks super pretty and like a normal stock.
They don't
fender.
have the step plate and all those type of things.
Mostly not. Maybe they'll have a step plate, but screwed into the fender maybe or something like that. But it looks more stock. The bike does, as opposed to like ours have mine does. Anyways, have the step plate and the scrape bar. But I think it's just different. Some people want it to look the most stock possible, probably, and then some people like for me, it's a stunt bike. Like it's got a cage on it. Like
Well, everybody rocks crash bars these days. That's kind of like a big part of the Dyna performance bike scene is like what kind of crash bar you got and shit like that. So it's kind of like easily to I feel like a lot of these bikes look like stunt bikes in a sense because they got these fucking I wouldn't say monstrosity of cages, but they have like just complete protection everywhere.
And they're expensive. You got to protect it.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about as far as you're concerned, like what is like with you only being on the Harleys for so long, like and obviously picking it up really well, like where do you think like you're trying to take yours as far as like trick wise? Like are you trying to stay no handbrake on the whole thing or
I'm not gonna necessarily stay no handbrake. Like I want to stay no handbrake as long as I can to learn a lot of tricks without it.
Yeah.
But once I trying to do circles and like I said, I want to jump to high chair on the Harley on the Dyna. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Okay. Everything in base I do on the street bike, I'm going to try to do it on the Harley.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's the same with me. That's my attitude too. Is like if I can do it on the street bike, I want to do it on the Harley. And if I can't, well then
figure it out.
It's less fun. Like so I'll figure it out. It's just a matter of.
So what about the bagger thing now? Like that seems like, you know what? In hindsight, like I said, everything that's coming out of my mouth is like not experienced. I'm just kind of like saying shit because, like I said, I don't know a lot about the stunt world. But from the outside looking in, it seems like a lot of people jumped on Dynas, and then immediately it seems like the Dyna craze has been It's been around for a while, but it seems like people automatically jumped up to the bagger thing now real quick before they really learned all the tricks on the Dynas, if you will. And
Yeah, I
do
would
you think
agree.
it's like a constant like struggle to kind of be on whatever's the most popular thing on Instagram versus like really learn how to do the tricks and evolve into things?
Well, me, I started on a Sportster.
Yeah.
Everybody was giving me shit, but I wanted to learn the Harley. I wanted to work my way up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, I had got a Dyna, and I couldn't get it to hook. I couldn't get it to wheelie or whatever. And I was like, I'm not riding this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove it all the way out to Panama, Florida beach. I gave it to Dylan Cook, and that black one he ride, which is white now, that was my old Dyna.
Mm.
So boom, I ended up getting the Super God that I got now, and Haley was like, you can wheelie that damn bike. And I was like, bro, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting it, and then I went to his lot over there, and about 20 minutes I was hand dragging and doing everything.
So what's the setup like? What's the ideal setup for you? Like as far as your what year is that Dyna?
2010.
So 2010
Super
and
Glide.
Super Glide. Is it a 96 still on that bike or 10? It's a 103.
103.
Yeah. So you got a 103, but you didn't do any motor work or anything to it.
No.
But you did the chain drive.
It's a chain drive on there, just the oil pickup mod, the motor mount, San Jose rod, just the 8 pullbacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically it.
That's crazy.
Clutch lever shocks.
Oh yeah,
seat.
clutch, yeah, clutch lever, shocks, yeah, seat.
Yeah, seat's kind of busted.
Out of
though.
there, yeah, out of there.
We need to get Lucky Dave's on this bitch.
Yes, straight up.
But no, that's it's kind of crazy because a lot of people, you were saying this the other day about like a lot of me included. Like probably my first Dyna, like the way I would try to wheelie it was like, bah, and just like dump the clutch. Like I never knew about how feathering the clutch out till you get to that point. You know what I mean? And then like doing it all right there. Yeah,
from the edge. Yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't really understand, like, because you see cats that are like jump on a 100% stock bike and wheelie it, and it literally is. There has to be some kind of trick to pull that off. You know what I mean? It's not like some people are blessed with this knowledge from the gods,
No,
and the
it's
other
not.
people are, just fucked.
It's about seat time, man.
Yeah.
Like, once you learn it, it's a finesse. You got to let the clutch out easy, and more like it's like I said, it's more like you're trying to take off from a red light from a dead stop, without spinning the rear tire. It's more like that. Like you want to let the clutch out and give it power.
So that's why. So you recommend a lot of people start with like the shorty levers type things, like like the elite pulls or something.
Yeah, Elite Mototech makes a good one. That's what I have on my bike currently. But RSC makes a really good one.
Yeah.
They're a great company.
That's who I started with.
Yeah, Josh is a cool cat, and he's a great dude. And they Clint Ewing has One Finger, the brand One Finger. They make them for Harleys too. So
How hard is it to pull that motherfucker though, or is it?
depends. That depends on your clutch. If you got like the heavy duty clutch springs.
Yeah, I got all that. I got all that in mine.
So it's
Yeah.
you got to be a man. I say you got to be a man to pull this clutch all day long.
For real.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it's crazy that like seeing I never really thought about the whole shorty lever thing. Being able to hold on to the bar still and get a grip on that and
Yeah,
pull it
way
up.
more control that
It's
way.
a big difference for sure.
Even if you're not riding wheelies, like if you rip corners or you like to ride fast or you like to whatever, just more comfort and more control. You have 2 fingers on the bar or no fingers on the bar, holding it all the way out.
Yeah.
And that how much control do you have like this compared to like this? Like way
Makes
more.
sense. Yeah.
So
I just haven't, man. I don't know. Like I haven't found a shorty lever that I really dug yet. Like they, for the baggers and stuff, they got those PSR levers that are adjustable and shit, but they're still long.
they make them
Yeah.
for the bag. It's all the same. For
Yeah.
Harley.
Yeah. So like mine is all hydraulic. You know what I'm saying? So like the
Right.
easy pull shit, they don't have one
You're
for
right.
that. But there's I don't know. Like I don't really need it for that, but it does make sense if you want to really smash some miles and hit some corners. Like you want as much control as possible and having your
Just being able to control when you let out of the clutch, like there's no loss there from when you're like letting the bar out, trying to wait for it, all that
Yeah.
loss in throttle. As soon as you let go, it's power's there. You
Yeah.
know, it helps. It's good. I
Yeah.
recommend it. Even if I wasn't stunt riding, I'd still have it.
still rock it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the other Dyna you've been rocking, the one you're trying to keep a belt. You gonna keep it a belt, or are you gonna try to?
I don't know.
On
man.
Dyna, you really don't need no chain.
You don't need the chain convert. It's a pointless conversion. It really is. It's more like a flex,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Because you can get it up. That's just like the difference in a fuel injected street bob and a Mikuni carbureted 100-inch S&S.
Yeah.
Motor. two totally different motors
Yeah,
as far as power input. My bike's done now. It's done, yeah.
Oh, the purple one's done?
Yeah, we're ready to go. We got a little short break-in period, like
Nice.
4 or 5 laps around the
Yeah,
parking lot.
you went to the camp out and you tried to roll with us from the camp to the first gas stop. And
Yeah, I needed to be in group 2. That's what I learned. I didn't know there was 2 groups. I was just trying to keep up, and everybody passed me. All the baggers passed me. I was in the very back of the group, and I was like, well, shit, there's a look back. There ain't nobody behind me, so I got to keep up. I don't know where I'm at.
Yeah, for sure. That's the other thing about, like, because you were talking about going to Sturgis too, and it's like, how does that work where you're building, like, say if you want to ride to Sturgis, I don't know if like the same, me, like, riding a bike across country is the most, exhilarating feeling in the world, or in the world to me, but I don't know how to do that shit that you guys know how to do, so I don't know, like, it might have.
Oh, it's definitely missing all the adrenaline.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you're riding down the Rockies or something. Maybe,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I like make up the scenes in my head so I feel as cool as you guys look going across a bridge in Dallas, like fucking one finger in the air, like, hey, whatever. Yeah. But so if you are building a bike and you do want to experience all these different types of motorcycle experiences, like Sturgis and the riding and the traveling to and from, which is, it's a different experience for sure, but it's still something really badass to kind of do. Were you thinking about going to Sturgis like on a bike, riding there and back, or were you thinking about trailering up there or throwing it in the back of the truck? Or
honestly, I was gonna take the road glide out there, just chill for the scenery, and just chill and ride there and ride back. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I was gonna say, like, how do you kind of balance between a bike that you want to be able to do a wheelie on? Like, maybe you don't want it to be your actual stunt bike, but you want to know that if you had to flex on somebody that you could pull it up real quick, but still keep it reliable to take it down the road and shit. So
I don't know that. I mean, I guess it is because, Rusty does it, I guess. So, he rides and I just don't. For me personally, that's like almost just not an option. Like if I'm going to stunt ride like all weekend, I'm going to be riding. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to drag elbow in front of anybody that wants to see it. Like, and I'm like an acting ass out there all weekend.
Yeah.
So the odds of me, I already know that the odds of me being able to come home on the bike that I take there it's a good chance that there's not going to be the case, just like at the camp out, And so like, thank God I trucked it there,
Yeah, for sure.
Same thing for Sturgis, but that's where you need the old lady. You could be like, load the bike, the Dyna up in the van, send the old lady on the fucking road with all the bullshit, and you can just ride the road glide up there, and that's what I'd like to do. But
yeah, I mean, I've done that a couple times. Send the wife. My first Dyna I ever bought, man, I actually did that. I was on my bagger, and I rode up there on the bagger, and then we put the Dyna in the trailer. And then when I got there, man, I just wanted to ride the Dyna the whole fucking time. So I ended up putting the bagger on the trailer. Never rode the bagger again. It was my big wheel. Yeah. Never rode it again after that, and ended up selling the bike pretty much after I got back. And then it was Dyna. I was a full Dyna bro after that, and then the FXR came. But yeah, that is a flex. It's like something that'd be dope to do. But man, like, taking your wife to it's hard. When we started traveling though, it got hard for my wife to come to all the things because we'd be roughnecking in campsites and pulling off the road somewhere type shit, and waking up and fucking going to Walmart to get some new underwear and shit like that. Like you don't take the wife on that kind of a adventure.
Yeah, I get that.
Nothing, like it doesn't sound cool to her. She's like, "What are we gonna do when we need to change?" Like, well, Walmart's there. We can just buy a 5-pack of Hanes for $9, and so we're good for another couple days. Yeah. And then we'll throw the other ones in the trash. And, you know what I mean? And just fucking keep going. But my wife ain't trying to do that shit. So when we go to Sturgis this year, she's actually gonna drive up with my buddy Cody's old lady. And so she's going to bring our big tent and our fucking air mattress, and we're going to be setting it up, probably have a cooler and shit in Sturgis. But then when we do the rest of our trip, so at like halfway through Sturgis, we're going to break out and go to Yellowstone and all that. Then I'm going to have my little ass tent, that fits in the saddlebag, and that's when I'm going to do the roughneck part, and then she's going to drive home. So
it's got the best of both worlds.
It is. It's perfect like that when it can go down that way, but it doesn't always work that way, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say no chicks on the rides.
Yeah. Well,
because I don't have one, probably, Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Nah, my boy can go out of town for a whole year. He ain't got to go feed no dog. He ain't worry about no female.
free.
Haley crazy.
No, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. The camp out was cool. I think everybody, even though, like, it probably did. None of the stunt riding guys came from the Dallas area to the camp out, but probably because, like, when you first hear camp out on Harleys, it's kind of like, in my head, it's like, that don't sound like a good time, really. Like, But being around and hearing more about, like, the hills and everywhere where it was at, it's a cool spot. I'm glad that I did go, though, because it was a whole different thing that it was kind of like a stunt ride, but with camping instead of hotels but it was cool. Everybody hung out.
So I noticed that, like, that time I went to the lot, which I've only been once, but just seeing how all of y'all kind of, like, take over this fucking parking lot, basically, and turn it into a little mini community.
Circus, yeah.
Yeah, you got they're grilling over here. There's beer. There's kids playing in a little playpen over here. It's like all kinds of shit. It's the same thing for a camp out. It's just that our goal is not to do wheelies, it's to get shit-faced and have a good time. You know what I mean? And just party. Yeah. And, but it's the same vibe. It's the same concept. You know, you get around a lot of people that share the same kind of, mental thoughts on motorcycles, and it's fucking cool. And everybody's riding there. So that's the thing. It's like a lot of people that were there rode from all over the country, or at least the Midwest and East. And that's like a rite of passage for those dudes to, like, do that trip, especially through doing all this fucking COVID shit. You know what I mean?
Homie came from Pennsylvania. East Coast and cat. Man, I was like, damn.
With his old lady.
Such a beast. I'm like,
went down on the road, got a U-Haul and trucked it back home. Like, that shit was pretty player.
No, I did with the youngster with the FXRT fairing that was doing the wheelies from East Coastin'.
Yeah, that's
Pennsylvania.
His name's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. But no, the other dude came from there too.
Yeah.
He ended up.
That's a ride. That's awesome, man. Good for them.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't even imagine that. Like, I truly couldn't imagine getting on my bike that I do wheelies on at all and riding to Texas or Oklahoma from Pennsylvania, like, and knowing I'm going to do wheelies there and then I'm going to ride it all the way home. Like, hats off to you, dude.
I think that's why, like, I think that's why, like, Rusty and I can't. Tony came too, but the dude on that FXR, like, it's on the tip of my tongue, and it's like I know his name. It's just like a brain fart right now.
I've been trying to think of his name. I can't either.
Is it Smiley Stunts or is it Sketchy Glide or fuck? I don't know. There's too many fucking people, man. It's a lot
of people to keep up with.
Yeah, it's so fucking. It's crazy. But he was. I got a couple shots of him doing wheelies out in front. But yeah, it's probably why, like, they stopped doing wheelies earlier, and Brad's like, fuck it, I'm gonna keep going out there in front of the spot trying to wheelie and shit. So it's like they're like, okay, well, I didn't wreck it, so let me just stop now. While
we got
I'm
some
ahead.
Pictures. We're cool, like, in front of the campground.
Yeah,
that's good. It's time. Let's make sure I can go home. Because the more and the more, you know how it goes.
Yeah. But yeah, the thing's cool, man. That's literally OG Harley shit. You know what I mean? That's the shit they were doing in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. That's the same shit that they were all doing, and that started, like, I think that what really made the whole culture of Harleys what it is doing simple shit that doesn't cost a lot of money. It's just you riding there with your old lady, meeting up with friends, drinking beer, having a good time, and doing good riding. There's no, it's just like, not that Sturgis isn't fun in its own right, but when you start throwing all these vendors and all these things on top,
it's a show.
Yeah, it turns into a show, and so, like,
entertainment.
You look at your bike differently, and what's cool about our camp out is, like, it's not a bike show, right? So if you get,
but it is a bike show.
Yeah, for sure, dude. It's a bike show anytime you're with your homies going to ride somewhere. True. You know what I mean? Right. So it's just cool that I think that what's cool about our camp out is that it's people tend to be more impressed by what you did on your bike versus what your bike is. So if you rode there, like the Maverick dude, RD, he rode from Phoenix to Arkansas to his house and then rode back to the camp out. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
yeah, that's awesome, man.
That's pretty fun on a fucking Honda, like, Rebel or whatever the fuck that thing is called.
Yeah, beast. Like,
yeah,
I was impressed by the camp out. I was surprisingly impressed. It was a good time. You got to go do that. Camping on, that's why I'm like, I want my bagger back, if nothing else, just so I can go take it on some trips, because it's reliable.
You ever camp or anything like that?
Nah, I ain't never camped. I ain't never went to no camp.
Out there in the tents and
In
the woods.
yeah, in the woodies, nah.
Dude, that shit's amazing,
I
man.
never did it.
White people shit, right? It's like I seen a thing that said, it's like, camping. It's like where white people spend $30,000 to pretend to be homeless or something like that for the weekend. It's like white people shit on the bottom or something.
White people shit, yeah.
They spend $30,000 to pretend to be homeless.
No, it's I've said it a million times on the podcast, but like when you go with your boys, so maybe you can like confirm this. Like if you go to around certain crowds, right? You get around some wild motherfuckers. There is no shutting off. It's party 100%. But like to me, when we would take trips across country and we would get a hotel, if one dude got tired and went back to the room, it was over. Night was over. I'm gonna go back to. And next thing you know, it's like 9:30, and you're in some cool ass town where you could be doing shit, but you're in a hotel. You know what I mean? But when you're camping, I feel like you're kind of forced to kind of stay around the campfire, stay around the circle, and you're not like just the party goes on longer. You know what I mean? Which
sure.
For guys like me, that's what I like. I just don't. Sometimes I don't want the party to end.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that option was there.
Yeah.
You could party all night long.
there was cats that were up at like 5 a.m, dude.
I was up at like 6,
I think
6:30 drinking coffee already, but because I went to bed at 9 o'clock because I was baked and passed out by 9.
Yeah.
10 maybe.
But I can see it's it's definitely different for like I said, the stunt world is definitely not like it's not the same, but like I think that it could work and
No,
it
for
could
sure.
still
If
be.
if all the guys that around local went to the camp out, they would be like thinking of places that they can take their Harley. Because I am
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that'd be a cool place to go ride to for the weekend or whatever. And it was cool. It showed me something different. I
Yeah.
liked it. That was really cool.
It's also like like jumping on a bike. I've said this a million times too, so I'm sorry, audience, but like if I don't really like riding around like just hey, let's just go ride around Dallas. Like it doesn't really do anything for me. You know what I mean? Like I've owned a bike for almost 20 years now, so like I'm not that pumped to just jump on my bike at every opportunity, unless what I'm doing on the bike is something like fuck, that sounds like fun, I'm going to do it. So to me, I like to leave and just not come home that night, like wherever we go. Like we go to Houston, Austin, San Antonio, Oklahoma City. Like let's just go somewhere. Let's go have a great time, some beers, go ride, and then just get a hotel somewhere or camp or something. That way it's like, because when you get like 100 miles away from home and you're on like a Sunday ride with the local hog chapter and you're having a great time, it's like, fuck, man, I got to stop in like 30 minutes because I got to be sober enough to drive 120 miles back home or whatever the case may be. It's just, I don't like that. 'Cause like I said, I like the party to keep going. So, if you go out there and you just fucking like just go all out and have a good time and then just crash wherever. Dude, we went to me and Brad did this once. We went to Fayetteville for the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue thing. We had nowhere to stay. We didn't know where we were going to stay. We were just going to go there, go get fucked up, and then just sleep on like a park bench or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we had no idea.
Yeah.
And we got there and we ended up, there was one of our friends there from here. He's like, we ended up drinking some beers with him. And he's like, dude, y'all can crash on my floor in the hotel. So it worked out for us. But those kind of trips are always fun too, where you just don't know what the fuck you're going to do. You're just going to see what happens. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have a good time for sure.
But yeah, man, it's always good shit.
What about stunting? What you got, Bam? What's your next trick? Something? What you got?
On the Harley,
Cooking
my
up
next
for us.
trick.
What bar are we moving it up to?
Man.
Are you trying to catch up to somebody else's bar?
I'm not trying to catch up with anybody, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay in my element, stay in my zone. Like, I let things come to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't just go, I see somebody doing it, I just go out there and fuck it, I'm going to do it. That's what a lot of people fuck up and do, end up getting hurt, or, you know what I mean? I done seen a lot of people get fucked off.
You had said something the other day where you really haven't ever wrecked.
Yeah, I really have never wrecked.
Yeah.
I never broke no bones, anything. Like, I went down on my homeboy Brian's, what was it, that 6.3, no, I wasn't a 636, it was the it was a ZX or some. It was
ZX6R?
Yeah, something like that. It was a Kawasaki.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? The battery wasn't tightened all the way, and
yeah,
I flipped over the bars, whatever. But I got back up and kept it rolling. But far as that, like I ain't never like been down. I thank God for that. I ride with my guardian angels. So
I got in bad wrecks.
yeah.
Knee surgery to prove it.
Yeah.
What so like what motivates you guys both individually like to even do the shit, you know what I mean?
Like this is my passion. Like ever since I was young, like I started like racing dirt bikes. Like my dad put me on it and stuff, and I just always had that thrill to ride motorcycles. So I started from pedal bikes, like riding pedal bikes, BMX, skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like I can skateboard. We can go to the skate park right now. Tray flip, crook down the rail for you, whatever you want. Like I'm gonna do it. Like for real. Like, but it's just a thing with me. Like my definition of bike life is it's more than just like a hobby or a sport or whatever they call it out here. Whatever. Like this is what I do.
Yeah.
And that's I'm gonna go out on my bike. That's what I want to do. Like I don't want to say it on no bad juju or whatever, but I rather go out on my bike than slipping in the tub, hitting my head or something or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's just me. But I don't judge anybody. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I just do me. I stay humble, and I just thank God every day that I wake up that I can put my leg on my bike. Because every time I throw my leg on the bike, that could be my last ride.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah, for me, I just do it because I like it. That's what I like to do, and it's exciting, I guess. I don't know. And I like my friends that I've made in the scene. Like there's just like like you can travel all over America. I can go to, if I'm over in North Carolina right now, I can hit up Joe and he'd be like, yeah, what's up? Come kick it, come through.
Yeah.
Show me a good time all weekend. Take me to all the spots. The same thing at St. Louis. You go up there and you can go hang with those guys, and people put you up in their house and hang out, take you all over the city, show you all the cool shit to see. Like, that's cool. Like, it's not everybody that, works at the local mill or whatever can go travel and go stay with people all over the country, see all the major cities and see. It's like, I don't know, it's its own community. And then it's cool. Like whenever I was having knee surgeries, once I got hurt real bad and once it got infected and I had to have like the third surgery, or even after the first one, Josh Graham, he's like one of my people I look up to in the stunt riding scene. He's just like a cool ass cat. But even he just messaged me, called me every now and again. Hey man, you doing all right? If you need somebody to talk to, like I've been there before. So it's kind of cool. We just look out for each other. Hook each other up with your old parts if they need them, or your shit breaks down out of town. People will come together like you've seen.
It seems like most communities are like that. I mean, that's a lot of the way the FXR community is. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the dudes that ride in that thing, they all have a really close-knit, look out for each other kind of vibe. And they kind of have a tendency to, I don't know if they would agree to this, but they kind of have a way of pushing people that are kind of toxic out of the scene.
Yeah, the bad ones always weed themselves out of anything, and so
I think it's more like that. Yeah, they weed
same thing in the stunt
out.
scene, like people where there's an open hand, somebody's always going to be there trying to take advantage,
Yeah,
and so or take it for granted or whatever, and so we've had the people in the scene that, message after ROC, meeting a whole bunch of people, then get on there and message all of them. This shady ass dude, Trustin Brown, he messaged like 100 people in the scene, ask everybody, man, can I borrow $60? I'm really down. I can't get no money to feed my kids and shit right now, and borrow $60 because everybody's like, oh yeah, no problem, dude, I got you. If you do $60, so your paycheck on Friday, so you just PayPal it to him, not thinking nothing of it, and then it's like, damn, that fool didn't pay me back, and then he's like, oh, he didn't pay me back either. Oh, he borrowed money from my homie Brian up in Chicago, or he messaged, he borrowed money from Mike up there.
Yeah, I shot him some bread.
Then everybody's like, well, shit. I shot him $100, dude, and
next time he came up strong.
Oh yeah, now you're like,
he came with, he said
100 people. You don't hit him.
He had a whole brand new bike.
$60 a piece, make $6,000. Like so, there's always going to be those.
Yeah.
Fuckhead ass people, but they're gonna. They'll weed themselves out of the scene anyway.
Well, they doing that shit. They're not gonna he'd have to be delusional to think that people aren't going to find out that everybody got scammed, basically. And then so he probably didn't have the same desire to stay around indefinitely, or unless he was just fucked off in the head. You know what I mean?
Drugs is usually why shit like that happens, or some sort of an addiction, alcohol, whatever the addiction, But
so, what do you think as far as like the Dallas or Texas or we're on the cusp of being the Southwest and the Midwest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like we're not the South by their means, but we're the furthest South. So I mean, I'll say we're the South.
Yeah, but what do you think? What do you guys think that like needs to happen here with the riders to kind of to start build a presence or an actual? I mean, we have a scene, or you guys have a scene here, but it's like it just hasn't been exploited, I guess.
Yeah, it's super new here, you know, and we've all talked, you know, all of us guys that are in the Harley thing, but like all of us are just kind of getting into it, you know, like from sport bikes. None of us have been that are in the scene. I think have been in it more than, I guess Anders probably the longest, 6 months, maybe 8 months, something like that. But
I want to say I met him at one of those
T-bar, yeah.
Actually, I think I met him back in the day when I still had my gold FXR. I could be wrong.
That thing was wet. I want that.
Because I remember I rode it to the high, or not the high five, but the Fuel City bike nights they do there on Thursdays.
Yeah.
And you know, like, hey man, I follow you on Instagram. I ride a Dyna. It could be him. I just can't remember.
It could be. Who knows? But him, Swami.
But apparently he had a Dyna and he still had like a sport bike. And then I met him like there twice. And then he was like, one day he was on his Dyna, the next day he was on his sport bike kind of thing. He had a 636 or some shit, all caged out.
Yeah, it could have been Anders on that ZX10 he had or something.
Yeah, it might have been that. Yeah, actually, I think it was a 10.
A stretch,
he had a really nice one. But he's, you know, so it's kind of like it's sort of new. And let's see, like to name the guys, like Anders is real quiet and like to himself. He barely posts shit, just whatever, you know. He's like kind of to himself. I guess I post the most out of everybody in the local area, but Manny, I've never even seen a post of him. I don't know.
What is Manny riding?
That 17 Street Bob, that one that's like, you're like, this thing's too pretty to be a stunt.
Oh,
yeah.
That was the first. He was the first person to let me wheelie his Harley, that bike.
For real?
I wheelied it. He didn't even know how to wheelie it. I wheelied the first like 3 seconds. I wheelied it.
Took his virginity.
Yeah. That thing is super fresh. And so just a lot of the guys, they just, like little Tony, you know, he just learned how to wheelie a month ago and he's scraping and stuff. So I don't know. I think it's just kind of new. Nobody's really put it together. I've been wanting to, but we can't get Rocks out of the house. He ain't even listening, but
no, he's not.
We need him out of the house so bad. Just
he needs to fix my fucking drywall.
My boy Rocks.
That's the true OG of the area on the cool. Like,
that's
credit where it's due. He's been doing it the longest in here. Like, I mean, he's been doing it for years.
Yeah,
so.
you know, when me and him first met, I was actually we've been around each other a million times from back in the day, and then I was up in at Tony's spot when he had his grand opening or his 1 year anniversary. I can't remember which it was, but we were up there in Little Rock, and I stayed with Tony, and we were doing podcasts, and Rocks was up there and shit like that. But we talked a little bit, and then we ended up hanging out again and talked more and more, and then, you know, eventually we got to a point where we actually talked a lot. But yeah, he's elusive, man. He's the man on the Harley. He would just show up to bike night every once in a while, and just like out of fucking nowhere, and then it's like, all right, well, I'm talking to this dude all night. So
yeah, he's our, you know, the Jason Pullen of the area. Basically, he's that guy for this area. Nobody can drift.
And he's the one that fucking did the gnarly ass Scorpion a couple of years ago that everybody posted.
Knocked his teeth or chipped his tooth, man. That was, when I saw that on Instagram, I wanted to cry.
I didn't know it was him. I saw that before I actually officially met the dude. And so, you know, my buddy Mark was like, yeah, so you know that video that was going around of the dude kind of coming down the wheelie too hard and then going over the bars and fucking his, you know, whole feet came around. Yeah. It's just like, fuck.
Yeah,
he rides was pretty so aggressive and just balls to the walls, like off the rev limiter the whole time, drifting, and like, it's bound, you know, bound to happen at some point. A little too much brake, but
he's also conditioned to do the shows and stuff. So it's like that more aggressive look is what probably gets people going.
Oh yeah, you need to be making noise the whole time. Like, it's got to be, you know, even when you're like sliding in on your brake to like locking up to like drift and do circles. You know, you need to be, you know, banging off the limiter coming in, even though it's not doing anything. It's just making a lot of noise, and then you hear the tires spinning, and they like it.
So what else? I mean, is there anybody else that's up here in Dallas, or is there any guys in Houston starting to jump on the Harleys yet? Or
Dylan Bahe's here in Dallas. He just came over from F4I's like a couple months ago. You know, so like there was a couple guys in Houston that had them, and then
they just winged off of them.
Yeah, they just kind of didn't really get us.
Is it like is the transition to Harleys kind of like starting all over again in a sense?
Yes, it is completely starting all over again. Like, you have the knowledge of what you need to be doing, but
you're relearning the same tricks basically.
Yeah, and it's harder. It's way harder, like, to learn it on this because the balance point's so much heavier. It's, you know, when you break it, it's more expensive, so you got to wait to buy these stupid ass parts. But yeah, it's harder, right?
Yeah, it's harder.
I thought harder. I will say it because, dude, I thought I was cocky about it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this fucking down and I'm gonna be smashing on it in no time. And it wasn't really like that. I like to get to the parking lot the first 2 times, and I could barely even get any traction until I put that Shinko on there. And then
So that's where it come in when I said I started on the Sportster. See, I started on the Sportster, then when I got on the Dyna, it was just like more easier for me to like pick it up. You know what I mean? So that's why it didn't take me that long to wheel that damn Dyna.
Yeah, the Sportster seems like a better platform to start from.
I was circling
It's way
I was
lighter.
circle wheeling.
They got power too, man.
Right, shorter wheelbase, that helps
Yeah.
a lot, and where the motor is not
Yeah.
way up front. Yeah, they're a lot easier. They're almost just like if you can ride a sport bike, you can jump on a Sportster today right now and do wheelies
like the
first
one,
try.
like the one West got that from ESR. Shit, that my black one, like that's the sporty. Like I was mastering on like circles, all that stuff. all
But
that
you
shit.
can't just get off of a sport bike and get on a Dyna today and ride wheelies. Like, not
No,
gonna
it's
fucking
not
happen.
gonna happen. No,
Like, it's gonna take
that's
you
like
minutes
that's
to
like
get used
dirt
to
bike
that.
riders. Dirt bike riders think you can get off the dirt and come on the street and you can ride. It's
Yeah.
not the same.
The other thing that I noticed about like I said, I haven't actually seen him wheelie yet, so I can't really give him too much credit here. But watching, like when I was riding with you guys and taking pictures and shit, like your ability to pull up a wheelie, like telephone poles are 100 feet apart for the most part. That's the way they sound. So I look at it like 100 foot away from like a stop sign, like you pull a wheelie up, kind of do a little bit of something and then put it down and then bam, you're stopped at a light. When I'm used to like at the Bell Brawl, dudes using the whole fucking parking lot trying to pull up wheelies, and then they're already at the top of their RPMs. They don't really have much left to do except, you know what I mean? Not to say there isn't dudes out there at the Sturgis Bell Brawl that was killing it, but it seems like a lot of people on the Harleys were having to go a lot faster with things, and I hadn't seen people on Harleys go as slow as you were doing it. I know they can. Like I know that you like some of the videos that you posted.
Yeah, that's probably just because they're in the parking lot. You have to have so much forward momentum to where when you do go that far back there, that when you touch the brake, because if you're only going real slow to clutch up, if you clutch up super slow and touch the brake real far back and touch the brake, the rear tire will stop and the motor's going to shut off. It'll cut off and you'll mousetrap. So they have to pick up that forward momentum so that when they touch the brake, the bike will still be going. It won't shut it off when they hit the brakes. So
I taught myself how to slow the bike down going towards the wall.
For real.
It's like you want to hit the wall or you gonna slow this shit down.
So what do you have to do to slow it down though?
I got a little distance set cones and I just ride towards the wall. I just clutch it up and then just straight let the engine brake, and I barely really touch my foot brake. I really do a lot of throttle, and as soon as I let the throttle, engine brakes.
Yeah.
So it's really
for the Harley.
you gotta balance everything.
to slow it down, you need to bring the weight of the motor back further than the rear tire is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that's you need to take, that's like balance point basically. You need to bring it back past that to where the motor, while the engine brake's bringing it back, it's lowering in the RPMs. Now when you get in the gas, you're at the bottom of you're up here and you're all the way in the bottom of the RPMs of first gear or second, whatever you're in, and now you have the whole throttle range to just play in that little area. So you can speed, dip the nose down a little bit and speed it up and then keep it
So
up faster.
you want it to be back towards like maybe 1 o'clock before you start throttling again, right? Like you don't want to throttle it when you're already that far back.
See how much?
No, you want it to fall back down to like 11 o'clock,
Oh, okay. I didn't know which way you're
No,
going.
you're good.
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
Up to 12, and then let it come back down to but to slow it down, you need to be closer to like 1 o'clock.
So you always really counterclockwise. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was always riding the one Mason, like the 1 o'clock Mason bars. So I really didn't never like 12 o'clock or nothing like that. I like to go back farther. So I think that's what got me with my throttle control and my balance point for me be able to dip it back more. You know what I mean? Getting out of my element a little bit.
Yeah. You see a lot of dudes in the Dyna thing where they'll have their fenders cut back so hardcore, and then sometimes like they'll hit the crash bar or the straight plate so hard that it seems like they're fucking riding the crash plate and the fucking wheels off the ground and all that shit.
No, it does. Dylan just did that. He got a good picture of it.
For real?
It's on the
Dylan
plate. And the rear wheel is, an inch off the ground. But what happens is they hit it too hard, so it digs the fender in and it picks the tire off the ground. It puts all the weight on the back.
Yeah.
But if it gets crooked at all and that when it comes down, it's gonna ejecto-cedo.
Yeah. It's sketchy.
Man.
Yeah, Kenny Edwards did that when he first got on his bagger, and it was a nice one.
How much more complicated do you think it is with the bagger where you, not that, when you're doing a wheelie, you're really going side to side, but, having those bags there where you don't have a lot of room to kind of balance to the right or the left, say if you want to take corners or whatever the case may be. So is it all about getting those cuts and angles into it, or?
You could. That's like what Rob does, but most everybody doesn't put the angle. They just cut them short enough to where they won't. But it's all the same. It's just learning the balance on a Harley, the way that the motor works. But like just like that Cat Reckless, 203 from up on the East Coast, and Cat, he jumped on the bagger day one, fresh. Like he could mash on a Dyna, but then just get on the bagger and day one. Just ripping that bitch, So
I will
it's
be
all
on
the
the
same.
bagger
I think.
one day.
Yeah, we're about to find out. I have one, and it's super close now. I got the parts going for it. The dude from Cruzy, he told me how to cut the deal so I can run my gauges on the bars, maybe. So I was either try to do that, or I'm going to do that plate from my machinist.
My machinist, yeah. It seems like on the Road Glide, you want to get as much shit out of the fairing as possible, so when you're coming down, you're not fucking. Yeah. All those speakers and the fucking those radios, especially in the older models. Yeah, they're fucking like bricks, dude.
Yeah, no 8-track player,
fucking CD player up in that bitch.
Yeah,
but
the bagger's just, to me, it's just a flex, like just straight up. It's a financial flex, period. And somebody, it's like you could do whatever, you drag your face off on a Dyna, and somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, well, my buddy, he can do it on a bagger, Sea Bear fucking does it on a bagger."
Exactly.
So like you can be like, "Yeah, me too." I don't know. It's expensive, man, and
it's just expensive in my books. I can't afford it, so I ain't gonna fuck with it. If I had a fully set up Road Glide, I will clutch it up.
Yeah,
that's facts.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be cool to have one, but man, like that me and you talk a lot about it, Zach. It's like a lot of this stuff, like you just said as well, is a passion-driven thing, and it's like you're financially dumping money in it to keep living in that passion area. You know what I mean? And eventually, it's like most of us are probably like, "Fuck, man! Like I can't keep justifying, spending 10 extra grand a year to keep this bike on the road."
Oh, that's what happens. People it was like, "Oh, well, they get married or they get an old lady and then they just quit." Like, no, they get an old lady and they have a kid, and now they have a financial responsibility, so they can't justify dropping $10,000 and $12,000 a year on like on their hobby that's not making them shit. But
I got a 10-year-old, can't do that.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be hard too, because we've talked many times about different concepts of sponsorships and stuff, but eventually at some point, like if you are a company that is branded built off of the stunt ride scene, like selling risers or whatever, eventually with so much people out here talent wise, it's like where do you draw the line that, okay, there's not enough people in the stunt industry to sustain my business versus people that should be sponsored, basically. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of the same. In a good analogy, it's like for us in the paint world, there's a lot of really, really talented painters that deserve to probably not have to pay for paint because they create such marketable shit with their paint jobs, right? Same thing for you guys. If like I look at y'all and I think like, fuck, man, like y'all have so much control doing wheelies, like you're on another level that should be able to get sponsors. But then you look at the world of the sponsorships and all the people that they kind of, I know a lot of people kick parts around, but the world revolves around money. You know what I mean? And money, it costs money to go to these events. It costs money to keep these bikes on the road. It does help when parts come, I imagine. Mm-hmm. When you get parts here and there.
I don't know, but yeah, that would be awesome. No, I'm kidding, but yeah, dude, that's key, man. I mean, like you said, it's expensive. Like what you're doing for the industry, whatever that, like as far as what we're doing, like we can only do it to like the limits the bank account, like and some guys, they don't have a bank account. They have somebody that can back it. And, a lot of us guys, a lot of people need, like their bike is like the most expensive, like the most valuable thing they own in their life, and they beat the shit out of it. Like every chance they get, they're beating the shit out of it, and just, they might, I don't know. I've been strapped, but still buying bike parts, like fuck it.
Bro, it been times where shit, it been times when I was first coming up riding, bro, like, I have some money and shit. Like, I'd rather put my last bit in my gas tank than eat.
Yeah.
Like, that's what type of shit I was on. Like, I wanted to go somewhere with it. Like, I'm at the point now, bro, like, I want to start doing shows. I want to start getting into these events. Like, I really, like I'm really done riding streets. That's where I'm at with it, bro. Like, it's getting, like,
Yeah.
it's not, I don't enjoy it no more. The stunt scene is not the same to me no more.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not. It's so many people that's new into this shit. And, like, I'm not a people person to begin with. Like, I really, like, stay to myself. I really don't like fucking with too many people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just me. You know what I mean? But when I see people, whatever, like, I talk to them. I got people hit me from Canada, everywhere, trying to get me to come out there. I got to buy you, come out here. Like, it's people, like, showing love.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm at the point, bro, like, I need to do something. Like,
Yeah.
because, like you said, dumping all this money into these bikes and, like, and you really ain't getting shit out of it. Getting, rocking people's T-shirts and promoting people's shit. But at the end of the day, like, it's not putting no money in my pockets. It's not putting food on my table. Like, ain't feeding my son, none of that.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a weird thing because, like I said, with it being something that's very passion-based, it's like there is that fine line of you're doing this because you love it. And we all kind of, you guys are probably would take you're an ambassador for the scene of stunt riding in a sense. Like, and that's not necessarily something that you probably wanted to take on, like role.
But it is a responsibility that comes
Yeah.
with it. Like, I mean, yeah, if you've been in the game for 5, 6, 8 years, and like you're some of the top, I guess, some of the more, and I'm not, but more, like he's like one of the top street riders in the country on sport bikes. Like, it has its own attention, and like, even like with just as low as like the kids, just on a smaller aspect, like the people that we hang out with at the parking lot, like, our homies that come out there and ride and hang out, like you said, there's kids out there. I mean, some of like Itza's and Mike's kids, like, dude, we've seen those kids grow up in the parking lot, like from diapers to walking and talking, and and so like even to them, like they look up to you, so it's kind of like you kind of need to try to keep that in mind.
Yeah,
at
keep
least,
the example because you want people to, what it is basically is everything for there to be. You got to look at it like it's your economy. The stunt scene has got to have an economy, right?
No,
and your economy has to be filled with people who are spending money and people who are getting that money but willing to put it back into it, right?
Yeah.
And in some scenes, some industries, there are the people that are vultures. They take from it and they don't put anything back in, right? So they go, companies that aren't really founded by people who are into motorcycles, so they take all the motorcycle money and they go buy jet boats and shit with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like those, I'm not trying to talk shit on it, but that's, to me, like, when you talk about the economy, like you have your small economy like the stunt riders, you have your small economy of the campers that want to go ride across country, then you got the bigger economy of the motorcycle industry, right? And so in order for like one scene to have a more financial gain, there has to be money in that scene, right?
For sure.
So as stunt riders, I feel like you have to find a way to encourage people to want to get into it, because that's what's going to get people to buy these products from these, companies like, what's the plate, the Kevin dude that in Denver you went to go see?
Keltec.
Yeah, that does all that stuff. So when people start seeing that you use that, people start going there to get their bike set up because they want to start trying it. It's like you have to be equal part ambassador and equal part like, all right, so I'm bringing money into this, so I need to figure out how to get my money for it. Not that everything's for money, but it's the same thing for me in paint, right?
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I answer 100 questions a day about how to do stuff, right? I send them to the people that I use things for, but the economy of the custom paint world versus the paint world is so small that it's hard to be like, oh, well, I sent, I know 15 dudes I got to start buying your clear coat now, so can you kick me a fucking gallon or something? Yeah, we don't get that kind of love either, you know what I mean? But thanks for using our shit. Thanks for buying it for full price.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. So it's kind of a weird thing where maybe, in my opinion, if more people get into custom painting and I help them get there, then there'll be more money in it and I can actually get something from these companies. But that's still a big if. And like I said, I don't know if these companies really care about custom paint. I know my boy at Paint Huffer does, and he gives back to us like tenfold, but he's a very small company in the grand scheme of things. So you probably have like the Fab Tech. Is that what it was?
Huh?
Kevtech.
Yeah.
He's very interested in this, so he's giving back and giving incentives to the guys like you that are selling the parts. But
For sure.
then you got the bigger companies that are like, definitely not kicking back or, probably want a lot for you to do. They want weekly content updates. They want pictures. They want videos, and then you get a shirt, a hat, and a couple stickers.
Yeah,
You're like,
no, for sure.
the fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But it's a weird one, man.
it can always make the passion go further. Whenever you get anything that helps you be able to make it more financially affordable. Because that's the hard part. Going to the rides, anybody could go to the rides. But the thing for me, I think the guys that get sponsored, and I look at who gets sponsored, and some of them, they're not the best riding dudes in America, for sure they're not. But I don't want to name nobody right after that, because it's like, that's not what I'm talking about. But for example, there's some guys in the scene, like, it's not that they're the best riders, but they are putting into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, kind of like what you're saying. Like, say for instance, is on the riding level, but just like Joe that does high side life. I like buying his gloves because he's one of my homies, but also because I know where my money's going. When it goes to him, he's going to Sturgis this year. He's going to Connecticut to ride with the East Coastin' boys. Like, he's putting out content that when I'm at home on the shitter, I get to watch the videos. He's like, it goes into our little community, like you say. Yeah. And same thing with like I bought some of the shirts from Cruzy and them. Like, that's good. Like, you got to give back to the community. And
so it's the same concept. It's like, we all have money. We all have to buy shit. So, shameless plug here, but like, say we sell the Simpson helmets, right? So if you want to support someone you actually know, buy it from a guy like us or a shop you actually know, and not just a Revzilla.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazon
will take out all the, Amazon, like that one thing said, Amazon's not going to sponsor your little boy's baseball team. It's them small places that's the local shops, like that's the kind of stuff that does that, not Amazon. So
it's just one of those deals, man. It's like, I guess one of the most annoying things I get is like, hey, man, you sell Simpsons? Like, yeah. Well, how much is this? Like, motherfucker, you know how much it is.
Yeah.
You've already looked. Like, you're just, you want to see if I'm going to throw you a hookup or not. And I don't mind, helping people out here and there. But at the same time, it's like, look at it differently. Look at it like, if you're just looking for this item, take more pride in who you're buying things from versus who's giving you a deal. Right?
For sure, because
is $5 a big deal? Is it really going to adjust? Like, would you feel better about spending your money with, like, say, one of our great friends and sponsors, Jessup Dream Rides? He sells a lot of shit online. I would rather people buy stuff from him online, who is an actual shop, an actual biker that gets out and fucking smashes miles. I would rather everybody buy their shit from him than buy it from a faceless company like Revzilla, who I talk a lot of shit about. I don't know who owns it. They're just a big online store to me.
Yeah, he could be the biggest biker in the world.
I don't know. I'm sorry. If he is, my bad, man. You need to step up your social media game. Like, you need to
because we don't know.
Yeah, step that shit up.
So, but in the hindsight, it looks like Revzilla they're trying to be the Amazon of the motorcycle industry. And dude, more power to you.
Yeah, capitalism at its finest. Great. Kick ass. But
as people, as consumers, as people in the industry, you got to understand, like, Amazon's going to eventually trump every mom and pop shop there is. We always worried about Walmart doing that, but Walmart ain't got shit on Amazon. What was it like? Didn't Bezos just become the first trillionaire or some shit?
He did.
Yeah.
That's right. It's insane.
Congratulations, buddy. He's young enough to enjoy that shit and get some pussy and shit like that.
Yeah, and his ex-wife became the richest woman in the world just by divorcing
overnight,
him.
yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy, man. But no, it's like I said, man, if everybody would charge battery pack, what the fuck? Can you check that cord that's going into that camera and make sure it's plugged in?
DC?
Yeah.
It's plugged in.
All right. It might be the fucking... see if it's plugged in, like, follow the cord down. I might be tripping over here.
No, they say it's dead.
Huh?
They say that motherfucker with the line, that motherfucker dead. It's plugged up, though.
That's weird. Wonder if that DC cable's going out. Hold on, folks. Let me check. But yeah.
I think these people be lying when they be telling you, oh, we got 800 hits. I did not hit this 800 times. This motherfucker out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
$18.
I can't smoke them hoes, dude. I can't smoke none of that shit. Because it's like, to me, it's a trap. You know, it's like something you have to buy every day. It's a habit. Like when I buy one of those, when I see people buy them, I'm like I'm gonna get a jewel. Like you just want a hat. Like that's a habit. Like why?
Yeah. Did you leave that here?
Nah.
Because there was one sitting over there on the table for a minute.
Nah, I brought this from Denver.
Oh.
If I leave it here, you better smell twice before you get it. Lay down on the couch.
Man, it's crazy. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think that there's definitely potential. We just, like, as consumers, we got to start thinking more about where we spend our. It's the same argument with everybody talking about buying American and shit.
No,
it's the
for
same
sure.
concept. You know, buy American, but also buy from people that you physically know what they look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, try that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take.
How do y'all feel about this shit? Like, you know, like the whole Corona thing. You know, which I'm not trying to like get political or anything, but like, I'm more annoyed at watching people half-ass try to reopen the country. You know what I mean? When you, like, as all the truths, which who even knows if they're actually true or not, is coming out. And
it's a
like,
weird time. It's impossible to know the truth about anything. Because you can watch Fox and learn that truth. You can watch CNN and watch this truth. And everything that they say contradicts each other. And then you get on Facebook and then that contradicts everything that both of those say.
yeah.
And every scientist that says to put the mask on, this scientist over here says that it'll
Dude,
kill you to have it on.
I made a purchase today.
You can't know none of this shit. Like, it's impossible. Like, oh, that's not a credited source, but this one is. And then
like, who
it gets
knows?
discredited next week. So it's like, man.
I went, so I wasn't planning on working today, which this isn't really work, I guess. But so me and my wife went to the outlets over there in Grand Prairie. And I just want to buy a pair of shoes, man. I haven't bought a pair of shoes in like 3 months. I wanted some new Vans. I walk into the little outdoor mall thing, and all the stores are open except for the two that I want to go to, which is Levi's and Vans, right? So I'm like, fuck. So then right across from Vans is Journey. So I'm like, well, they sell Vans. I'll see if they got something cool. I want to get some new shoes. I walk in, dude's like, don't touch anything on the walls. If you want to see that shoe, let me know what size. We'll go get it. And I walked in, and I was like, nah, I don't like to buy in person this way. Like, I want to touch it. Like, I want to, like, I know what they feel like, but I was just like, you know, I just want to finger it a little bit and be like, yeah, I want this one. So I was like, man, I don't want to buy it this way. I would have just got it online. So then I went to Zoomies around the corner, had the same shoe, picked it up. Hey, can I get this in a 10? And I was like, I felt way better about my purchase. So what I'm trying to get at is, like, seeing all these, like, companies, like, more chain companies, like, starting to come open and stuff. It's like, we're all being forced to abide by the shit because of the way a few people think, basically, versus the majority of us, I think, are pretty over it. And, like, you know, I haven't been sick. I've already gotten, like, a thermometer stuck on my head to go into a store once just to make sure I wasn't sick. And I'm like, the fuck, man? Like, what kind of shit is this?
Yeah, it's like for me, you know, it's like I said, they want to. Like, they think that our bodies can't fight off the virus, but the statistics say that, you know, 90-something% of all people that get it fight the virus off and don't even have no effects at all, or whatever the numbers are. Who knows now? But so it's kind of like,
even the numbers are hard to fucking understand, dude.
You can't, because the numbers are different on every news channel. So I don't know, like, it's hard. It's like talking politics.
You just flew,
race, or
like, you were just in a plane last weekend. So what was that like?
Well, they said it was only 20 people supposed to be on the plane, but the motherfucker was full to front from back. But I was good. I mean, I really don't give a damn about no damn coronavirus. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's all about money and shit. So.
Yeah, it seems weird, man. It seems like it's just a very, really complicated deal. And like I said, not to be political at all, but just for any side, any party to just literally look at, like, people losing their business while others are having record number of fucking sales, mainly the people that can afford to not be open.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sad, man. It's just like, it was like a cleansing, almost like a purge, to get rid of some of the people struggling to stay on board and with business and things like that. And it's just kind of sad, man. It sucks.
Yeah, definitely so. People, it's affecting some people super badly. Some of my personal, like, friends I went and seen last night, actually, he was just telling me, like, you know, he's being affected negatively by it in a pretty tough way. So,
I missed a lot of things though, for sure, like money, like a lot. So,
Yeah, and I've been kind of telling people I in the motorcycle industry we really haven't seen much of a change, but I think a lot of our change is going to come over the course of the next 3 months as things start to open up. That like the chain of events of like certain dudes that get jobs or struggling for money, they can't buy risers for their bike, they can't go to this place. I mean, fortunately, most of us in our little small sects of the industry are sex.
You're sick.
We don't really make up Sturgis or we don't really make up Arizona Bike Week. So when that didn't take place, you know, we weren't like, fuck, man, we usually make 80 grand at this place and now we're not making anything. We more look like we usually spend $2,000, so we just save $2,000 by not doing it.
We just missed out on a good time.
Yeah, a good time basically. So, you know, it's just weird, man. Like, I hope that most of the people that are in our scene, you know, find a way to kind of get through it. And then the crazy shit going on in Cali. We were watching the Rogan thing the other day when they announced that they were, I don't know if they officially did it, where they were trying to keep 3 more months of lockdown going on.
Yeah, it's.
I want to see fucking Cali just get some balls, dude, and be like, you know.
They can't. They've done.
They gave away all their rights.
They got them brainwashed over there.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
It's a weird world.
I thought I was gonna see it whenever the beaches were getting. People were like, "This is bullshit. Just let us go back to the beach." But then, like with them forcing all these places to stay closed, and the whole 25% bullshit. It's like I sit there every fucking place I go to, I watch, and now I'm thinking about it. Like, oh well, I just handed her money under this little fucking screen they put up. She just handled all my shit. You know, like all these different things that are taking place that this thing right here isn't doing shit.
Yeah, they got the plastic shield over the credit card. I mean, where you punch in your numbers on the credit card. So instead of us all touching the machine, we're all touching the plastic on the outside of the machine. Like, what the fuck is that doing?
Exactly.
Everybody's still touching the same thing. Like,
you know, someone else posted this, and I thought it was I never thought about it, but it was a brilliant thing. It's like, I know that the COVID checks were needed by a lot of people. Some of us were okay without it, but would it not made more sense just to like not tax people for the rest of the year?
oh yeah,
Business wise, like just like if you go to your job, like, hey, you know what, we fucked up. You know, you just make enough money to live. Just focus on living. Let's just, you know, I'm still getting comptroller phone calls every day, letters in the mail. Hey, did you file your taxes for the third quarter or whatever the case may be? And I'm like, dude, like,
police are still running radar. It's
yeah, you know,
you can't turn
I know.
you can't turn the machine off.
man, it's just wild, dude. It's like, okay, so you want to help us, but you're the only thing you say it's about the people, but the only thing you've cut off is our ability to a lot of people's ability. Unfortunately, I'm okay, but a lot of people's to make income. But you're still charging people, you're still fining people, you're still doing everything else that you could do to make our lives easier, and only certain people got checks. You know what I mean? Only certain people are getting the fucking business checks. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, like, can you toss us one bone that's just like helping everybody out of the situation? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know.
we help the Kennedys.
We in a big ass ball called the world. Shit.
That's crazy, man. It's wild, but like I said, I hope that a lot of the motorcycle different areas of the country they get through it. I think it's starting to kind of come around again, but you know, motorcycling never quit though. So
I think they will. Like in this industry, like the performance Harley Davidson industry, or like, you know, even the stunt industry, like stunt riders aren't going to quit doing wheelies on their Harleys because of a virus. Like, you know, none of us have stopped. We've been mobbing the streets.
Yeah, enjoying it, basically being open.
Well, that's been awesome. Yeah, no traffic. Like, you know, so I don't think it's going to stop. If I break my bike today, I did break my whole motor, and during Corona, and I still spent, you know, $2,000 to get it all back together. Like, that don't matter. That's So I don't think, you know, for the people that are kind of like serious about it or whatever, I think they're going to spend their money on, if their bike breaks down, they're going to fix their bike, because that's what they do.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we do.
It's a mess.
And if you can afford the Harley, you can probably afford the parts.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
Or you can just afford the Harley.
Dude, I don't know. I remember when I first bought my first Harley, like I was finally starting to make some decent money in my life, and you know, like it was like you were saying, like there was a lot of points in time where the responsibilities were over here, but that new set of bars were over here, and that's the last thing I need on this build. And then after this build's done, then I'm gonna make more money because it's gonna be cool. You know what I mean? So like, I get it, man. Like I did a lot of irresponsible shit growing up, trying to get myself to this point to where I should have bought a house. I should have paid more in taxes. I should have a nice new truck or something like that right now. But I've always valued the motorcycle and my life on that more than not that I don't love my kids or anything like that. I'm not trying to say that, but just when it comes to spending money, like I would rather put it into the bike. You know what I mean? Like I don't mind having a bike payment, but I definitely ain't trying to have a car payment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, it's always been a weird one.
I don't want no payments.
Yeah, but everybody can't be like you.
No, it's just then I have to go to work. And then I have to, you know. That's tough.
It's kind of a weird flex that like you don't have to work, but you show up here on time every day. Like, bro, like you don't need to like be a model citizen right now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Let you know. At least that's about the only way you can let your boss know you take it serious, I guess.
Yeah, true.
If you're there all the time on time and you doing what you're supposed to be doing, then at least they know you're not fucking off, you know.
Yeah, for sure. You got any hobbies other than bikes? Like, you dabble in you a woodworker? You like to whittle? You like to
Really, shit. I just like to ride. I like to ride and shit, just chill. Really, riding is my shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm riding.
So like, you got like a little 110 and everything. You've been
like if I'm not riding, like if I'm not like riding, like I'm asleep or something, or I'm, see what I'm saying? But I love to ride. Like,
yeah.
I don't. A lot of people think I ride a lot. I really don't. Like,
okay, contradicting, but okay.
Yeah, I really don't ride a like practicing type shit. Like people think I go out there and practicing type shit like that. Like I really don't. Like I when I go ride the streets and shit, like that's my practice to me. Like, cause I ride.
How do you like? You know, we were kind of talking about this, but how do you get away with it? Because like I said, I got like before I met you. I mean, Zach already knew you, but I was already. You know, you live here in Waxahachie, where our shop is, and I live. And I'm getting messages from other dudes like, yo, like, who's this on this white Dyna just mobbing wheelies down 77, like our main road here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't fucking know. And I'm like, I saw the dreads hanging out the bag looking like fucking Predator going down the road and shit. And I'm just like, I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this is. And then, like, it took a while. It's probably 2 or 3 weeks later. And then, you know, you said, oh, my boy Bam's out here.
Yeah, once I saw him, I gave him a ride home. He was broke down on the highway one night, and I took him home. And I was like, he told me he lived over here. I was like, that's who's over there mobbing the street. Okay. I was like, it has to be somebody I know. Like, the odds of me not knowing him was almost impossible.
Dude, like somebody doing a wheelie on a Harley, like controlled, like that's not.
There's only so many people.
Yeah, there's only so many people doing that shit. So it's not like.
Yeah.
You know, like the picture. I don't remember who sent me the picture originally, but they were like in the Waffle, or not the Waffle House, but the IHOP or the Starbucks parking lot, because you can see Hobby Lobby on the other side of you and shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like fuck, I don't know who that dude is. And then like I said, it all came down. But how do you, you know, like we were talking about too, because like you, Zach, you said like here in Dallas is one of the only other cities that you can pretty much get away with wheeling all over the place. Yeah. We're not in Dallas, so you get trouble over here, but in Dallas itself.
Yeah, Dallas City is great. We joke around and we say we got them trained over here, but that's really not. But yeah, kind of like they just have a no chase policy from years of jacking with sport bikes and it leading to the public's safety being in danger, I guess. Yeah. So they just have, you know, the no chase policy. So if you wanted to get them to chase you so you could get it on your YouTube video or something, like almost impossible, like without like kicking their car. I mean, you'd have to do some like
crazy shit.
Yeah, you can. We mob 2 deep, 6 deep, 20 deep, 50 deep.
They just tell us to keep a lane open
all weekend long. Like you can do it. We do it all. We have like different rides in town. You know, guys come just like the camp out, but guys come and we ride the streets all like. We'll ride it. Everybody meets up at noon and we ride like we did that day. You know, 4 or 5 hours, whatever. Stop over here, see this spot. Stop, see that spot, and you can do it all day here. And the only other place that I'm aware of that you can do it like that is in St. Louis. You know, they got bigger problems. You know, so you know the main cities, but Chicago, like they got problems, but they're still not really. They're not cool with it.
Yeah.
California's not cool with it.
Yeah,
you go down to Cali with that shit.
Gestapo down there.
Yeah, it seems like when most people are doing wheelies out there, they're either in like rural, like industrial parks, or they're out in the cut, like in the country somewhere.
Yeah, the valley or something. You know, exactly. California Highway Patrol ain't playing out there.
They not playing no games.
We went out there and did a Rocco ride, I guess.
Oh yeah.
The cops are serious. They ain't playing.
But yeah, so like here, like I said, you kind of get away with it because it was funny because when we all, us guys that don't do that shit, when we were riding with y'all, like Anders and his, like, as soon as he saw, like, I got this great photo of him doing a circle burnout in an intersection as a cop is making a left-hand turn to get onto the highway. And it's almost like he did it right at the time where the cop was dedicated to go onto the highway, so he would have to stop and turn around and you know what I mean? It just
the cop didn't even look.
I saw the cop. I saw the cop, and I just knew that for y'all guys that aren't aware that you can do that.
Yeah.
So I bumped his back tire, and I was like, give these guys a show with your buddy over there, and he was like, all right, So he started doing the burnout and stuff. But yeah, they don't care. Like even if he would just like pull up and go or honk the horn or just
give him a little.
Yeah, but he's not gonna get out of the car and come make you stop, like because he knows as soon as he gets out, you're just gonna take off. Like,
run off.
Yeah.
That's just wild, man.
But yeah, they don't care, man. So I've been wanting to do it, just like I'd said before. We had talked about it, but just do something like a little ride here, Harley only stunt ride, because we have rides here, tons of them and stuff, but not Harley only. It's Groms and dirt bikes and sport bikes, and
that's got to be tough to because each bike has a different like level of pulling it up and maintaining the speeds and shit.
Absolutely,
yeah. So you get too many different types of bikes, and you just got like this seesaw effect going on.
Yeah, we got everybody.
It turns into a clusterfuck, and it gets less everywhere. Safe that way. Like I don't think it's. And don't get me wrong, people do bring Harleys to ROC and mob in the pack and all that, but like.
Yeah, but that's like you said, that's Sturgis. Like you got to go there to show out. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
But
it is.
Same thing for you were saying about the ride here. Like I hate to selfishly put our name on it.
It's cool. Shit.
Like even if you guys were to do something else on top of it, the way I was thinking was like to get each side together, which is what we were trying to do, get Fort Worth and Dallas to kind of hang out again. But with you guys coming out and doing the wheelies and shit, a lot of people just see that shit online. And so the way I thought in hindsight, because it wasn't a thought going through the head, but all of us coming out and seeing you guys live, it's like, fuck, man. Like even the guys here that are fans of this type of riding and the fans of this shit, like, dude, you got hometown heroes here. You know what I mean? Like, you got dudes here that, like, if you really want to support this type of community, like, check them out. Here they are. It felt like a cool way to, like, bring people together to do a different type of ride. Because you said it best, a lot of times we get on these Harleys and we're like, you want to go try this bar? Oh, man, we went there last week. That's not the one. Oh, man, there's got to be another place. And, of course, with all the shit going on, it's like, we really can't. There's nowhere to ride unless you want to do like what I was saying. Like, let's go rip the hill country and find a place to crash tonight. Which most people can't get that kind of time away from their old lady, Brad. So it gets a little tough for people to get out and do shit like that. So
yeah, Brad. Hey, he got out for the little ride, and I was so happy to see him. That was awesome. I love it.
He's hooked now, man. He's already ordered. I think he ordered the.
Yeah, he did.
The straight plate from Homeboy.
Yeah, Andrew's is going to make him a plate.
He's done it for Andrews is doing it?
I think so.
I thought he ordered it.
He just, because he asked me and he was like, should I just get, I was like, man, hit him up yourself. Build a relationship with him. He's a cool cat.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Anderson, real good dude. He's going to look out for you.
Yeah, he does. He looks out for all of us guys. And
He said he's been, that time y'all had he brought the 110 out and y'all were fucking around with it. Like, he said he's like getting close to scraping that thing almost, but
yeah.
I guess when I watch him wheelie, I know that he's not as good as you guys. So like, I'm always like, I don't want to see my friend wreck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hey, but
shit happens, man.
That's how everybody starts out. Everybody's,
he does have some good control, so I got to give him that.
Yeah,
he's always been in the dude. I am in my seat in this industry now because of our friendship. Because he was always into the dirt bikes, into like the unknown dudes, into the Dynas. And, he's the one that kind of showed it to me in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like he's always been in this shit.
No, he'll get it. He needs a couple, like 2 or 3 days at the parking lot, maybe, 4 or 5 hour days, and he'll be controlled scraping the bike. And once he scrapes it, then it'll just, because to get to scrape, you got like, the slowdown point is before the scrape, It's like once he goes there and scrapes it, and then when you come out, like, you'll be going real slow, So then you'll be like, oh,
no, I got potential on Brad, though. Real talk. I got potential on him. Like, I think if we like like go to the lot with him, bro. Like mob, he just in the mob with us and shit, like in the lot and shit, and like us like shoot my pointers, Haley shoot his pointers.
Yeah. Well, you know, y'all were saying like you don't think it's like a good idea to start on the dirt bikes and move up to the bikes because it's different, or do you think it's
dirt bikes is not the same, bro?
Okay. Yeah, it's not really the same.
Them dirt bikes is fucking so tight. They like a little Cheerio. All them dudes throwing them dirt bikes around. They're light. I mean, you should have that ability to throw them dirt bikes around like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really nothing.
I don't know.
The Harleys
seems scary to me.
Harley,
at least the sport bike is similar in weight. You know, it's a different.
Them Harleys is a whole nother ball game.
It is. The Dynas, at least.
Yeah, I mean, like, and my Super Glide is longer, I noticed, than, like, regular Dynas and shit. Like, the Super Glide is longer.
Well, your year is a bigger Dyna than, like, your year. So you're running the 03, 02, and then you got a 10. So, like, the frames changed in 07. 06 has a bastard year, so it's like a 1 year only frame.
Yeah.
Or motor. Something's weird. But, like, they changed it, and you got the bigger back tire and shit like that in the 06 and up, and then 05 and down you got the smaller back tower, a little bit more. I don't want to sit here and say that it is a narrower bike, but it's a much thinner bike.
Yeah.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, like riding one. I've had both. I've had a 09. I've had a
I
02.
think it feels my lowrider feels way more narrow than I rode my buddy's.
It's definitely lighter too.
Yeah, he bought a Super
lighter.
Glide from I think it was like an 04 though, but even his 04 mine feels a little more narrow. I think.
Yeah,
the lowrider, because I rode it back from Temple, and I was like, it's kind of feels like a big bike sort of.
Yeah, for sure.
And my street bob is bigger. It feels big and heavy and.
Yeah. Like I said, those bikes. That was my first Dyna. Was that, and you know, and of course I never really knew how to wheelie, but. Most of the people here that was wheeling back when I first got on the Dynas was some of these cats from up in like Denton area. There's this kid, man. He was fucking pretty raw for wheelies and Harleys ran. Because like I said, there wasn't really much going on back in 2016. And
was it Zach Shockey?
What does he ride? What's his?
He had that 1200 Nightster, I think.
No. I know. I want to say I know Zach. Back in the day,
he did the Busted Knuckles tour a little bit with.
So this was just a kid, man. He was just a kid that would rip wheelies. You know, like he just pulled them up. Like he wasn't like, dude. He was like 16. His dad got him a Dyna, painted it candy gold.
That's what's
it was dope, man. It was a nice little Dyna, and like I said, this kid just ripped him. But he wasn't really doing like he wasn't slowing it down. He wasn't balance point. He was just
popping it up, chasing them out.
Yeah, exactly. So back then he was pulling that shit up, and I kind of lost my point where I was going with that.
But there was a kid here that was.
There was a kid that used to do wheelies, and he was he's pretty cool. I think they kind of evolved, and I don't think they're in it much anymore. But what I was saying is like what they would do back in the day is they just like would put these massive ass rear shocks on the bikes to get that swing arm pivot down. So it makes it a lot easier to pop them up after that point and shit. So, but they put those 15-inch shocks on the rear, and then you put a chain drive on, and it pops up real easy, almost like putting a bigger sprocket on it or some shit.
Yeah.
So. What shock size do y'all usually run, like 14s and stuff, or what?
14s.
Yeah, 14-inch.
Yeah. 14s.
I think any 13 to 14,
13.5. Yeah, they use.
I think guys ride
too.
both, and a lot of people say the kind of brand doesn't really matter. I have Legends, but people, like Andrews runs, I think the progressive ones, and
I tried them too. I just put some. I had put the Legends. Remember I told you, and it was like 13.5. I didn't really like them. I've been riding the Race Bros. I mean, they cool for me.
Yeah.
Race Bros. That's what I got on mine.
Yeah, I would think it's probably really difficult to figure out. I mean, not difficult, but like, do they make suspension dialed in for stunt riding, or is it just like a certain type of setting you want to get out of the shock?
I think you just need it to be adjustable, to where you can adjust it to your weight, your riding style.
Yeah. So do you want it to give a little bit? That way when you're trying to bounce it up, or you want it to not? That way it transitions more through the wheel.
I like my shock stiff.
Okay.
I don't like my shit bouncy.
So, because I would say almost like you'd make it like you make it stiffer, but then let some of the air out of the tire, so the tire's giving more.
Yeah, from what I understand, Tony explained it to me whenever he was trying to fix mine. So whenever I was on my street bob, the first time I ever rode it in the parking lot, I was clutching it up, and it just feels like when the weight of the motor's up high, if I hit a bump, like it would be like super bouncy, and like it made me like almost want to buck me out of the seat, feeling. And so he came in and just adjusted them to where the rebound was real slow, like, you know, to where like if you like hop on the seat, it's not gonna be like when it bounce up. It's like you hit it and it's gonna like come up slower. That way, whenever you're on a wheel and you hit a bump, it's kind of like the bike is one with the seat. It's not loose to where it's like rebound.
Yeah.
You know, got a lot of rebound on it. Otherwise, it wants to buck you whenever you hit bumps and shit. Which
riding the street, it's not gonna be.
Period. Even in the parking lot, like there's bumps. None of the
Yeah.
parking lots, even the best ones we have, are there. You got bumps in them. You know. And so
Yeah.
you got to be able to ride it because otherwise.
Yeah, I was also talking about, you know, watching y'all ride. It's like the downhill, the uphill, the fucking like all the different lane changes. You hit those dips when you go like across like a, you know, intersection and stuff. Like, it seemed like it didn't bother any of you guys.
Yeah, well, you just get to where you understand that you can ride it over
Shit.
quite a bit, you know. Yeah, but the bumps,
Yeah.
sometimes it makes you set it down. But yeah, if you're high enough, the front tire's high enough, it's you know, the weight's over top of it, so it kind of just goes.
Yeah, I forgot who it was. It was some on the ride y'all had through the hood ride. This dude had hit me. He was like, you didn't see that speed bump? I was like, yeah, I seen the speed bump. That didn't bother me. He was like, oh, you fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah,
that didn't bother me. I seen it. I jumped. Like when I see a bump like train tracks, when I go train tracks, I'm gonna bounce on shit. Like when I go over there, I'm gonna bounce. Like, I know I'm gonna make it over my hill. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you probably like riding streets for so long, especially on sport bikes. You know, I feel like you understand what needs to happen to go over certain types of terrain and
For sure.
shit like that and pull it off. But then the wind, that's the other thing that fucking like it wasn't really a windy day, but fighting wind. Like I've been around dudes that just fucking like they just plant themselves.
You'll see them leaned off on one side.
Yeah.
See, we learned with the wind, like, I don't know, like, I can speak for myself, like, when I first got in the stunt, like, I wanted my shit Street Fighter. I had nothing to hide behind, nothing like that, so I was really, like, I was out there. So when it came to, like, riding other shit, like, the wind wasn't shit. Like, I just go the opposite way. I'll fight myself in the opposite way, so.
Oh, yeah.
So, shit, people were like, how's you riding with all this wind? You see me riding when it's windy
Yeah.
and shit. I'm still
Especially
jumping
like when you hit
chair.
the overpasses, like that's the thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like when you come up and exit the highway and you're gonna hit the overpass to the other highway, like you gotta hit those on the wheelie. Like that's the best because there's nothing better looking. I've been on the bottom before, you know. Everybody they were all going somewhere, and I'm just gonna keep on going to the house. I'm done riding, and you see them up there. You see them
Just
going up the
mobbing.
ramp, and they're going up and around the doing. You see somebody on a wheelie like way up there on that bridge. It's like hell yeah, you know,
That's
it's going all the
crazy.
way around.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it. You got to do it on all the big rides. I do it. I've done it tandem, you know, with a chick on the bike too. A couple of my ex-girlfriends, I've do the whole bridge all the way up and around.
Bro said
People
a
are just-
couple.
yeah, a couple of different exes. So not at the same time.
Yeah.
So would you guys say that there's definitely more vagina in the stunt game than there is? Because it's
Different
weird.
kind of vagina.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different.
You know, so the people who are impressed with you doing wheelies on your motorcycle is not the 30-year-old mom of kids and whatever. You're reckless danger and you're putting our kids in, it ain't that crowd. It's the girls that are younger that are impressed by, flashy, fuck, whatever, I guess. You know, it's a different crowd. I feel like it's the younger
you
crowd.
can't talk to about all the other crowds, though, because, I don't know.
Well, I would say, it's the same thing. It's like a chick that's not that she's only impressed because you do a wheelie, but maybe like it's what that entails. Like you live a lifestyle of a little bit more. Like we as Harley or just motorcycle riders are, dangerous in a sense. Not dangerous. I'm trying to find the right word. We take the risks, right? And then you're taking an extra risk, so you're a little bit more edgy, more this than I guess some of us, but. It's no different than like if a chick's bopping on you because you have a nice bike,
right?
I mean, but like I said, I feel like, like when I came out there to the lot, I'm like, there's a lot of chicks walking around here.
Yeah, there's
some of them weren't even with dudes. I'm like, that's weird, dude, because like most chicks that come around Harley things are always with guys, or they're the chicks that's been with all the guys, and they're just coming back to the
in Dallas,
fucking
it's
tank skanks.
Yeah, tank skanks is what we call them. But yeah, it's a little different in Dallas, in this little area. Just we have because the girls that are at the lot, a lot of them are riders, girlfriends, wives, whatever. But a lot of them are riders. Like we got some female riders here that they fucking
They cool.
ride. Like,
they cool as fuck.
little Perla, like. she's 4'10" or something, 4'9" or something, and she stunts like an F4 full size bike, like super awesome,
big rotor and everything.
And we got like Megan, we got all the girls, we got the little girls. The girls do that Reckless Darlings clothing brand here, so it's like we got our own little community of the girls got their own thing going, you know, and they all
That's cool.
Yeah, and they promote and try to push the sport, the females in the sport doing it, because with the Groms came a lot of chicks that like. They're not going to just go get on a 600 sport
I feel like
bike
my
and
wife would
stunt
probably
it.
do better on a Grom than
For sure.
because she took the class and everything and she passed, but I also think that the class was like just passing motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
No, the class teaches you like.
It teaches you
Yeah,
in
but
a way.
she dropped the bike in like the figure 8, which I've heard from a lot of other chicks that have also passed the class that they did as well. And you're not supposed to pass the class if you drop the bike in that test.
But that's a pretty. I mean, like a figure 8 on a bike at a stance, like at a 0 miles an hour almost. Like that's kind of a technical thing for.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, and I don't want to, but the one thing they don't really teach you in those classes is like awareness of like being on the road, like, and some dudes, like I've ridden with dudes that just are not aware of shit going on around them, like,
yeah.
Like you'll see that you're coming down the road and there's that car sitting, like he wants to get on, but he's looking. I'm always assuming that guy doesn't see me, and I'm like waiting till I pass him to make sure and shit. Like the awareness of riding, or people that ride too slow, and then you have all that possibility of getting slammed from the back. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people that they don't teach the awareness part as what I don't feel like they do, and that's what scares me about my wife riding bikes. Is it?
Yeah, but
she's slow driving a car. Like she's not an offensive driver. She's a
defensive driver.
yeah, and I feel like you need to be an offensive rider to be safe.
But everybody starts off
Yeah.
being a defensive one, except for some of us guys, maybe.
I pay attention to everything.
If you're being an offensive rider and you're a new motorcycle rider, guy or girl, like you're kind of in the wrong. You need to start off being defensive and graduate into it.
I agree. That's true. I it's just one of those things.
It's your old lady, and you're like, you
I
don't want her to get
chilling
hurt.
at the house playing fucking Skyrim and
But hey,
get a phone call. It's like, hey, your old lady's down and she lost her leg or some shit. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
But dude, I've called
gonna
my
be weird
mom
now.
and been like, hey, I'm in the hospital.
yeah. I don't know, man.
Part
That's
of
just
it.
weird.
When I came up to the hospital, his mom had like all the snacks, everything.
Hey, that actually wasn't mom. That was Mike Huffines from Kansas City. Him and his wife. They're so awesome. Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Every time I went to the hospital, like the next morning, I'd post I'm in here in this room, whatever. The next morning, there's like big candy bag full of Butterfingers and
He had everything.
all the zooms and whams, whatever. All the bullshit, Cokes and. Yeah, they've hooked it up. He sent them to me every single time. So
Yeah.
but that's like part of another cool thing with the community. Like I was in the hospital and I got homies from Kansas City sending packages to like that's cool.
Yeah, I always struggle with that, like, because when you ride bikes, like you always have homies, and then it's almost inevitable once a year. If you got enough friends to ride bikes, you're gonna have to go to the hospital once.
Right. Yeah.
But last year, like our little group of the Anvil dudes, dude, we had a fucking run, dude. Like 6 dudes went down, you know what I mean? And they all had ankle problems afterwards. Like everybody was hurting their ankles and shit. And I think after the 3rd dude that went in, I was like, dude, let's just FaceTime, man. I'm getting out of hand with all this shit. I can't keep coming up to the hospital.
Living in the hospital.
But it's like, I'm glad you're all right, man. So when you get out, let's have a party.
Yeah. Hey, the more aggressive the riding gets, the more times people tend to kind of go down. That's
Yeah. Well, that is a good point, man, because like I said, with everybody jumping into this more performance motorcycle kind of vibe and kick, people they're literally buying products that make their bikes more stable, handle better, stop better, haul ass faster. But nobody's really, and we've said this a million times, nobody's really investing in themselves as riders. Like nobody's going to Ride Smart classes to learn how to handle this shit and take corners and avoid things. And
because they're not going to let you ride the way you want to ride.
Yeah, true. And it's like, so I think what it is like a lot of people have a different mentality of, or not a lot of people, but I think some people they think that they can buy themselves into being great riders, by buying a lot of nice shit for their bike, and all of a sudden that translates into their skill.
Oh yeah,
which is
those are my
definitely
favorite people. I love them because what happens is they spend like $10,000 building this bike, and then they get out there and they can't do wheelies on it or whatever, and then they sell it for like $5,000, and then I swing in and scoop it up. Right?
For real.
Every bike I've ever had has been somebody's built it pretty much, didn't really ride it the way it's supposed to. sold it. I get it for a stupid price, and then go just molest the hell out of it, tear it up, and then in 6 months it's pretty much a clapper.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And that's the same thing with like a lot of other things too. I mean, it's different for custom bikes because nobody wants to buy somebody else's. It's like your bike, right? So how many people, when I posted, like there was all these comments like, that's so and so's bike. How your bike's still on the road? It's like, that's got to suck, man, because it's your bike.
Yeah.
Same thing happens when you build a custom bike or whatever, or a custom paint job, and then you sell the bike to somebody, especially now on social media. I can sell that motherfucker to some dude in Seattle. And dude, still, every time he posts a picture of it, I'm going to get tagged in it every day.
That's Jason's old bike.
Yeah, it's like...
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, they had tagged me to do it in this shit.
But that's just right now, though.
He didn't ride it like I'm riding it, though.
That's the thing. See, so what happens is the more he'll make it, that won't be that guy's bike no more soon,
Yeah. He'll overshadow what that dude's doing.
Yeah, he's going to...
Yeah, but some people don't ever do that. Like, you know what I mean?
But
Some
he's
people
going
don't
to
ever-
for
yeah,
sure.
he will.
Yeah.
And I think it just depends on what do you do with the bike. Like,
yeah. I mean, my homie in Hawaii that bought my tins, like he has my FXR tins, which technically it looks like he has my FXR, right?
Right.
Coolest dude in the world. Love the reason why he bought it, things like that. But every once in a while I get tagged in that shit as well. Like, hey man, isn't this your bike? I'm like, nah, he bought those tins from me. And I'm more honored that dude's fucking rocking those tins still and keeping that paint job alive versus
No, it's cool. That's super
hanging
cool.
it on a shelf and stuff like that. So, but yeah, dude, that's that would annoy the fuck out of me.
But you couldn't be mad if they wanted to hang it on the shelf, though. I mean, it's a work of art. It needs to be on the wall. I get that too.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Like I said, a lot of things. We've talked about it a couple of times too. But it's like these custom bikes in the air is what gets the most attention. You know what I'm saying? So like, and Cali has that. Cali has a lot of really nice bikes from San Diego all the way up to the Bay Area. Dudes that have nice, clean bikes. That the Dyna, my first Dyna I built, some dude in fucking in Sacramento rocks it, or probably Stockton around there in that area.
Yeah.
Bike, I never got those kind of pics on that bike, but this dude's like scraping my logo off the back fender and fucking doing it. You know what I'm saying? He hit me up a couple months ago. I was like, hey man, I had to take the tins off because he's riding street, and it started to get kind of known. You know what I mean? So he took the tins off and put
that's the bad
put
part
some different
about
ones on for
that's
now.
the bad part about the flashy bikes. It's like if you have a black bike, you're just another black Harley on the road. It could have been anybody, but when you're like that all white Dyna, or you're the purple Dyna with the gold wheels, like there's only one of those in the area, or like your paint job, same thing. Like if you're doing wrong on your bike, because maybe the cop just sees you going the opposite way on the highway and he can't pull you over, but he did see that white fucking Dyna going.
I gotta call him.
And then next week he's on shift pulling out of the donut shop or wherever the hell he's at, and here comes this white Dyna just cruising through. So they're gonna just swing in and give you a little harassment.
Yeah, that's for sure. Especially, it's almost like the same thing. Like you don't want to shit in the area that you live in.
I don't. I have a law. Like I do no wheelies in Johnson County ever.
Johnson County.
I did a couple of them for pictures. One past the Johnson County sign, just because I've been wanting to do that forever.
Yeah.
And then I did the one down that back road because I've been riding that back road my whole life, and the trees grow over it. I'm like, that's a perfect spot for just a good
tree canopy going through.
Yeah, that's a good spot for a wheelie video, I think.
So Bam hasn't adapted to that concept yet.
He just mobs everywhere. He's
everywhere I go, I'm on one wheel. I'm straight up. So
that there's something to that though. That's kind of like
I just can't ride regular, bro. It's just not. It's nothing. I'm not trying to like piss anybody off or nothing like that. I mean, I'm controlling my shit. I'm staying in my lane, doing what I do. Like I'm not out here trying to show off for people. Or when people tell me to clutch it up, I'm not gonna clutch it up because like when somebody tell me to clutch it up, I can fucking go down from somebody telling me to clutch it up.
Yeah.
I do it when I feel it. Like I just don't be out here just fucking dicking around and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everywhere I go, my bike be straight up. So this is me.
It's kind of one of those things, dude. If I knew how, dude. I've literally, in the course of me being into bikes, I've had dreams where I knew how to ride wheelies, like the way y'all do. Like, just pull it up and just go through a fucking drive-through at Whataburger and get some food on a wheelie. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
Like, I've had dreams, like my life. It's almost like if you knew how to fly a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
So I get the whole idea of like if you know how to do it, like the urge not to or the urge to definitely outweighs the whole like, you know.
Yeah,
chill.
if I haven't been to prison, I would be doing the same shit. But once you go to prison, you get that good old slap on the ass one time. It's like, I just go to Dallas. So you already know, I van my shit to Dallas, unload in Dallas, ride it all over the city all day long, and then put it back in the van and then drive all the way back home with it, like an hour away. Like that's what I do every single time.
You're an adult. There you go. That's the more responsible way to break the law.
There's no reason for me to ride in a town where I can get harassed by the cops if I can go an hour away and ride where I don't have to get harassed by the cops, you know. And so that's what it was kind of cool to get to show the guys from Cali that, like that.
Yeah.
There is places in America where you can come ride and we can mob the streets all weekend from sun up to sundown if you wanted to, and the cops, they're not going to fucking harass us.
Yeah. Like, you know what's crazy? You haven't heard, but I got chewed out by my landlords here from the party we had here.
Yeah.
Plus, apparently every neighborhood knows everybody here, so I got chewed out for when we went to ride by that fucking kid's birthday thing. You know what I mean? Like, me, Brad, and Zach were sitting up here. I was working on a helmet. My landlords came in, and they're like, "Hey, can we talk to you outside for a minute?" I was like, "I already fucking know where this is going, man." And apparently, they're like, what really got me in trouble was our buddy Tucker did a burnout in front of the shop at 10:30 at night.
I seen that. I was like, "Oh shit!"
So that got me in trouble, but. Then he was like, and there was some guy doing wheelies here earlier. It's like one dude did a wheelie, and he probably is more safe doing that wheelie in this parking lot than half the people that drive through the parking lot.
Yeah.
So, but it just like it sucks that we go to Dallas and we literally just act reckless for a better, lack of a better term.
Right. Yeah.
And then we come here and we're just kind of having a good time because we're kind of like winding down and all the shit falls on me. Like, hey, you can't do that. Apparently the house across the way right here knows that house, and then they're all outside doing, like fucking watching and shit like that. And it's like, dude, call the cops, bro. Don't call my landlord like a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, just call the cops and let the cops come over and tell us to do something or not do it.
Or come over here and get bitch slapped like a grown man.
Yeah, or just tell me. Dude, I tried to stop the party early for that reason. I was like, you know what, let me kind of wrap this up about 10:30, get out of here. But it didn't help that we had did the podcast with the Cali dudes, and we were here till 3 a.m. the night before.
Yeah.
And then when we all jumped on the Harleys and left at 3 a.m, like they heard that. And then the next day, it was all the bikes here, the burnout, a wheelie, bikes coming and going all day long, talking, like when you live in a house and then there's like when I used to live downtown Dallas, when it's late at night, you can hear people, like I'm 3-4 stories up, you can hear people having conversations on the street walking by. You know what I'm saying? So it's, I know this dude's like fucked, but it's, not that he's fucked, but he's like, your house was here and then the city grew around it. And now you're stuck around an industrial park, and now you want everybody to be quiet? Come on, bro. It might be time to sell this property.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This ain't the country anymore. It's the suburbs now, buddy.
I'm buying that corner lot with the backyard.
It's a nice spot. Yeah, it's a nice little spot.
Yeah, Haley got a nice little duck off.
Well, cool. What else? Anything else pop? Are you going to try to go to Sturgis this year, or what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to try to go to Sturgis for sure.
Do you ever thought about doing like the bell brawl or any of that type of stuff, or do you have to wear a bell for that shit?
We're doing that. If we get up there and they'll let us, I think everybody can do it, right?
It'd be so sick if y'all did it with Simpson helmets.
Yeah, I want to wear a Simpson helmet for sure. Like, personally, nothing against them. A bunch of my buddies are sponsored by the Bell guys and stuff, and like, I'm sure they're great and all, but I like the way the Simpsons look. Like, they look the meanest on the market for sure, in my opinion. And so,
yeah,
I wouldn't have to like. If I have to wear their helmet, that's kind of
I feel like
lame.
If it's because that's kind of like in the Harley game that's the pinnacle stunt thing.
Yeah,
for the guys.
It seems like it for sure.
But it's like it seems like it should be open to whoever can wear whatever the fuck they want to wear. It's all about.
They might not have rules.
They might not. I might be just talking out of my ass right now.
Yeah, I don't know for sure if you have to wear their helmet or not.
But it'd be dope if you didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. If you could wear what you want to, like that's.
Like, what if you didn't want to wear a helmet at all? Like, could you do that?
No, Brando. I'm wearing a helmet.
Yeah, I mean, most people will, but I mean, like,
I don't think he needs. Well,
what if Jason Pullen pulls up and he wants to wear his little fucking
and what is this
his German helmet?
the Bell Brawl at Sturgis where they have it blocked off?
I never heard of it.
It's basically just like a little. They turn a little spot into a miniature parking lot, and they have a competition. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be down to hop in that though for sure.
Yeah. I mean, they put routines together.
Oh yeah,
So
those are all the
whatever.
guys
I'll-
that a
I'll
lot
put
of those
something
guys
together.
are the ones pushing to try to do the corporate type things and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think anyways. But I mean, I know Seabear did it. Joe. I mean, so I guess all the guys. There's not that many people to not be.
Yeah, I mean it's.
Doing
I
it.
mean most of the dudes in the scene that are not on. Even though it's hard to say that because Seabear is like he's pretty big alone as just himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
From the
he's
sport
like
bike world to the Harley world,
the dude in
Unknown's
the
kind of a
Harley scene.
collective,
Right.
And then the reckless dudes are kind of a collective as well. Even though there's certain people that kind of shine more, but. Then you got like the tall boy, then you got, like CJ Barham, then you got, I don't know enough people to start naming names, but you got all these other people that are kind of like their own brands that they're trying to put out. And I think
Yeah.
the Bell Brawl is good for that. So like, I want to say we were talking about the dad and son combo from Florida that was there on the bikes.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've met them down in. I met the son at ROC. He was out there, and so I believe that's where I had met him. I think so on that red bagger.
Yeah, I
That
think
red
that's
road
where
glide.
that's where I met him too.
Yeah, I think so. On
ROC.
the back alley back there behind Shady Jacks. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think just who knows. It's a lot of people aren't going to get picked up by certain sponsors though because they want to ride streets, and
Yeah, you
can't.
It's kind of like the streets is for the streets, and then the parking lots or those shows are for the corporate side of things. And
And that's how it is for stunt bikes, sport bikes too. Like Ian Gaines, he's sponsored by Kawasaki and Icon, and Kyle Sliger and all them guys. But they don't ride streets ever, never. Only on that one ride, I guess in Kentucky or something like that. I think they have a police escorted.
Yeah, they had the police
Stunt
escort
ride.
and that shit.
I think.
that's
who
the
puts
ultimate
that on?
flex right there.
Yeah, who puts that on?
I
Bill
can't.
Dixon or something like that. I
can't
think.
even remember.
I think it's who does. But
Yeah.
I remember they had that little ride
police
there.
escorted, stunt ride all through town. So they do ride it on that time. But other than that, those guys they can't ever ride the streets. And I guess if you're in your 30s, at my age, most people would be like, who cares? Fuck them streets. That's how you get hurt anyways.
Yeah.
But that's where it's like raw.
So that's what I'm saying though. Like going on that ride with you guys, it's like that's what made it feel like you're a part of it. Like So if I was 20 and I was just got a Dyna and I was riding with you guys, I'd be like, "Fuck, dude, I'm in it now. Sign me up."
For sure. That's what you were saying earlier. I was going to say it, but to make more people love our sport, there's no other way to make them love it than for them to get on a motorcycle and come fucking ride. Come with us on a street ride and just experience it. I tell everybody that my buddy, he was supposed to take my mom. I wanted her to come on one of the stunt rides when I saw my sport bike. Yeah.
Just the one where you were naked though, right?
Nah, not that one. No, but I wanted my mom to come just because she now accepts it. She just accepts that I love doing that, and that's what I'm doing. What I love, So she's a little more accepting of it. But I feel like if she could see it in person and experience it, from the back of a motorcycle, she'd have a different respect for it.
On a bike, looking through the helmet, seeing you're almost in a window there.
Yeah,
it's a much different experience. I think that if I was driving, you could never be in it. If I was driving a car, passing by or trying to keep up.
Wow, look at that. That's cool.
But riding next to it when you're cruising down the road and you look to the right and you're in one wheel and you're fucking winking at me and shit.
I can fucking touch him.
Yeah.
He's on a wheelie. That
shit
different.
is different.
That's how it was with
You're
me.
worried about the cops, even though you're not the one riding the wheelie. You're still looking
I feel
for
guilty.
fucking cops. Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, if you can bring somebody that's never done it before, they're gonna love that shit. It's gonna be the most crazy thing. I tell people's girlfriends. My buddy gets a bike and his girlfriend wants to come out, and I'm like, dude, this is gonna be the most. Or my buddies that have never been to a bike night, where we're riding all over the city, riding wheelies. I'm just like, it's gonna be like pandemonium kind of, and you're gonna just relax and enjoy it. But everybody's in control. Most everybody's they got control of the bike. It's cool. But it is. It's a whole nother thing, and I don't think. When I watched videos of it on, it was cool, but it was just a cool shit on video, But once I saw Patrick ride that wheelie coming back from bike night that night, like in person, I was like, oh, I have to figure out how to do that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I used to watch Patrick Stevens when he was riding at the little club off 360.
Yeah, hot rod,
Yeah.
Hot
Red,
rods
Hot,
and
Blue,
hogs.
or
Hot rods and
hogs.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
He used to climb to the top of the bike and dragging his
Yeah.
legs, and I was like, man, that
So
shit.
that was so I
cool.
sponsored him whenever he was there for whatever paint I did back in 05 or 06 or whenever that was. But that was like the first time I ever felt like accomplished because I sponsored him on his second video for the paint work we did on his 929 and the F4i.
Yep.
And I remember he had both of them standing on the 12 o'clock bars inside the club.
Yeah.
And I went, for the marketing, like I was up there with him taking pictures with the bike, and I was like, fuck, I'm kind of like painting my way into the scene here.
Yeah, hey, that's what's up.
Yeah, but that shit was crazy. That's when Brando was still around and killing it. He was a young guy that was like it seems like Patrick always struggled to get the circles down, and Brando just had it like that. So they kind of teamed up and they brought two different flavors to the mix.
No, for sure. Pat's he's never been the best at circles, but man, in a straight line.
Yeah, he can ride that wheelie. Like I said,
He can kill it, dude.
when I have those dreams I was talking about, it's being Patrick Stevens just riding around, just fucking complete, no hands, just
All
fucking
over the city.
Shit,
Yeah,
he was
mine-
rolling. He was rolling the shit. He was on his new bike, that one CBR 1000. We was in Dallas. I'm riding. I'm killing shit. I look over to the right of me. He got this girl on the back, ass in the air, just fucking rolling a stoppie, just like it ain't shit, and she just chilling on the back.
So that's what we were talking about too. It's like it seems like stoppies are. You were telling me about that a lot of people don't do them anymore, or it's not as
It's
popular.
technical. It's a technical thing, and there's a point of no return. It's not like
I'm
with the
getting that
wheelie where
deal.
you can touch the brake and it's going to come down. Like once you give too much brake and you like, there's no saving it. Like you're going over the handlebars, the bike's coming, it's going to hit you, probably pile drive your ass into the ground. Like broken collarbones are a serious thing.
I'm not scared to do anything on the bike, bro. But I've never tried no stopping. I'm not that's just
Damn,
one thing I ain't.
I flipped them 2 in a row, and I was like,
I tried a
fuck them
couple,
stoppies.
and it's just not for me.
And see, I grew up around like I said, the guy. I grew up around Patrick. I grew up around those dudes that would get it up to 100 and pull the rear wheel up at 90 miles an hour and ride it out.
Toaster,
Yeah, Tony Santos here. He can roll probably 700-800 feet on one pretty easily.
It's
and
crazy.
I just live vicariously through that. People start talking shit on stoppies. I'm like,
I just-
my boy Tony's down here in
straight up.
Texas.
I tell him this too, straight up. But my boy Tony Soto, he gonna come
Go
show
find it
us
and
up.
share the video. Here,
I
yeah.
can't do it, shit.
Yeah.
But I got somebody that will.
Yeah,
It's probably a much different thing. I mean, it's
is.
the same concept as a wheelie, but you don't have the save yourself.
It's technical
button,
as fuck, man. It really is. And to be able to roll them, he did, what do they do that at the AM Stoppie School, 300-foot approach and then roll 500. Like, you only have 300 feet to get up to speed, pick it up, and then you got to roll 500.
You know how we came over that bridge, bro? Like, when I was coming up, I was wheeling, about to go down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
He's smashing, stopping, and hitting that hill, bro.
The whole hill all the way
Bro.
down to the bottom. Like,
like down to where
Yes.
yeah,
It's
whenever
just-
we're on the bridge, and we're right there where the intersect. Like, the whole
He'll
thing.
turn and make the ass in face the other way, and then Chris gets back up. Like, yeah.
No, Tony is. He's really, like, there's some talent here. Tony used to have my Dyna. He's who I bought my Dyna from.
Oh, okay.
The purple one.
He's just not feeling the Harley game or what?
I think
He
got
regret
on
getting
it.
rid of-
Yeah, he
he
regretted it
regret.
immediately after I started. After
Yeah.
I started doing it, he was just like, "Man, I should have never."
Because he
sold
was
that
wheeling
bike."
them and stuff, and he was like, man, when nobody was like fucking with it, like we was all on the street bikes, and like nobody was on
He was
Harleys
a
out
little
here.
too early. Like
Yeah, and
Exactly.
then-
And then as soon as
shit
he
came
sold
that
it, I
time.
got it. It was like
Yeah.
it seemed like
everybody started.
Then
going.
the
people started
Everybody started-
switching. Yeah, and it was like now there's 5 or 6, 7 of us. Like it would be fun, but now he's on some scooter. He's been buying them little bitty
fuck-
scooters and putting pipes and motors on them and
Two
selling,
strokes and
flipping
shit.
them. And so he's got a little scooter gang going right now. So they're all mobbing around town. These little bullshit ass Zumas or
He's
whatever.
taking
they're
those
like.
limes and fixing them up. Making it fucking good.
But yeah, it's
He riding them motherfuckers though.
That's crazy.
But I don't know. It's sport bike industry. Stunt industry for the Harleys. It's
He pulled out that 2-stroke, bro. Got a 2-stroke little fucking scooter, like one of them fucking 2-stroke. I'm like, what? I ain't never fucking seen one of them.
Oh shit. Yeah.
you know, those little Zuma 50s or whatever. Little, you sit with your feet in front of them.
2-stroke.
Oh, dude,
bro.
those are fun as fuck to drive around.
Oh yeah, he's got them.
Yeah.
He's doing them now and souping them up a little bit. Putting bigger motors and bore kits on them and shit. So
Dude, dude. Those,
Hey, watch it. Mark my word, bro. You gonna see motherfuckers on them scooters in a minute soon. Like everybody just mobbing scooters and shit. 2 strokes.
Because it's the same thing. It's like you can ride those around the city all day long, and the cops like they're not coming to fuck with you on those. You know, same thing as the Groms. Like they're so small that you're not really a danger.
Well, I seen
like
them cars,
on
them
sport
dudes
bikes.
cross country and shit, like them little Habibs and shit. They be riding them damn scooters and
Yeah,
shit.
like 16
Or
of them
like
on there
16 of them on
with a
switching wheels
donkey.
and shit.
With a
Like,
donkey, they're all barefoot. Like they're tripping over there on them
Yeah.
scooters.
For real, like they be putting in work. Yeah, that shit's crazy.
That's just wild, man. But yeah, like I said, I thought it would be cool to have you guys on and hopefully try to, you know, like I said, obviously you guys got to start. You already put a lot of content out, but more.
Kinda. Yeah, I know.
You know.
We need to put more. It's kind of like just getting everybody together.
Yeah. I still, man, I want to go down with you guys and get someone to like ride my bagger and me sit on the back backwards and just be able to
Behind
like,
a man.
dude, I'm doing it for the team.
Sure.
I'm doing it for the team. Back to back is not gay.
Disguising it. Okay.
So, but no, just having complete control of adjusting the camera and looking through the lens.
Yeah, that'll
while catching that the perspective. Like I think that the photos that I did get, you know, they kind of surfaced, especially of yours, because you gave me a lot more opportunities to catch pictures of you, Bam. But like, I feel like they work good because it's at a perspective that like you could see as a bike rider, as opposed to if I was in the back of a truck, you're always going to have that angle kind of higher than things, you know what I mean? But on the bike, and then me being able to like, you know, like train them like, hey, if I hit you with this elbow, you know, get over to the right or left, or, you know, if I tap you on the helmet, then go, you know, speed up a
get the
little.
Lexans
Yeah, get the
linked
Lexans
up.
just talking shit.
That'd be the best bet.
Have you ridden with the Lexan yet?
I haven't put it on my helmet yet because I haven't. My purple bike's down, so I ain't even been riding
For real.
the parking lot. The silver bike, like, it just needs a few more things, you know, to make
Yeah.
it to where I can ride it how I want to. And so until then, I haven't even
Haven't fucked with it.
fucked with my helmet.
Yeah, so you got the Lexan, but you didn't have the head jack. It's real. It's a really hard push to get that jack in on the Lexan, but the reason it's so tight to get it on there is the waterproofing and stuff, so that it keeps it nice and sealed. But if you don't have it pushed in all the way, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
You know. But he came in, he was jamming it, but it was so distorted because it wasn't plugged in. He walked up the stairs. I already knew what it was. It's like, psh, bam.
And then that motherfucker was thumping. I'm like, okay. They got the built-in flashlight and shit. Like, that shit's dope.
Yeah.
Emergency mode, like if you go down or something, you can put it in emergency mode and it flash does this little shit.
Like,
It's pretty dope.
yeah, I think it's good. And like I said, I haven't really ever rode with any other type of headsets, but I've tried to get them to people that I know that use other headsets to kind of, hey, what do you think? Like, you tell me from what you were using, you know. And
Yeah, I've had all the Cenas and the Pack Talk Bold or whatever it is that
apparently,
I have now,
like
and
Cena just came out with a new one that's supposed to be badass, but it's like $300+ or some shit. Which the Cena's has always been expensive, but like, you know how like TVs come out and they get cheaper but the quality's still there. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, dude, like I don't know. I
it's
can't
such
imagine.
a small niche. It's never going to get to that point.
for sure.
You know?
That's a good point.
TVs are just cheaper now because they make like 60 billion of them and they buy the parts in bulk.
I'm like into TVs now. I got the 55 in here. I just got a 43 for the workbench. I need a bathroom TV now, dude. We finna deck this.
He's like, these
motherfucker
TVs
up.
are cheap, man. I have
Hell
a TV
yeah.
in every fucking room, every corner
This
of
dude
the house.
asked me,
Yeah.
dude asked me, he was like, bro, where can I take to fix this TV? I said, bro, it's cheaper to just go buy a new
Yeah.
TV. Like,
Why are you trying to repair a TV, dude?
I just repaired mine.
What the fuck?
Dude, I got the 75-inch Samsung. It's like $3,500 TV. It's like there's a $400 fix. Like, yeah, I could go buy one for $500. But not a 75-inch.
Yeah.
75, yeah, it's a little different.
But
You also paid $35 for a TV, so like you were like one of the early adopters of like, I get this new shit.
yeah, I just did
35 on
75. It was a new. That was like I guess the first 75
I would've
TV
spent
Samsung came out with.
See,
on
I
the
wouldn't
wall.
want to picked up a bike for 35 or put that 35 into
Now me and Zach are in this camera shit now. Like we get $3,500. We're buying lenses and shit. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
looking at them
hey,
already. Yeah, I'm stupid camera shit, man.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like,
like,
what I needed was
Sony,
another-
and then I said, "How much is it?" Oh shit, this motherfucker's like 6,000 something. Oh shit, it's out of my range, bro.
yeah.
Like,
Dude, I'm not to take this into a camera direction, but I'm like real close. If this new Canon that's coming out isn't like in my price range, I'm straight going to the camera. You got the A7R3.
But then they come out with the Force. So it's like,
Oh, well, yeah, the
of course,
Force.
after I buy it, they're going to come out
Yeah,
with
so
a
the
new
4,
one.
yeah,
Like
I'd
6
fuck with
months
the
later.
4 because it's still only like $4,000 compared to They were leaking this Canon that's supposed to be the shit coming out. They said like maybe $6,700. I'm not spending that. I don't make any money taking pictures. I just love it right now.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to spend money on.
That's why I'm not like, because I don't really go. I know I'm not gonna touch a camera or go take pictures.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the same time, like, you know, like, I enjoy it right now. It's kind of fun. It's like I can still use it for business. I can still use it for a lot of things I do. So it's just like a fun escape. It's like an escape within the thing that I'm doing every day.
I would love to honestly like learn how to do it, like edits and like if I can really commit to the camera and
what
shit.
becomes hard about it, because all three of us sit here and we create content that we kind of need a camera on us in some form or fashion. But it sucks that we're also like, at least me and Zach, for instance, are the dudes that are taking the initiative to learn the shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, now we have to just take care of our friends because now we have the ability to show them off versus none of these other dudes want to pick up the game and try to help us out.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, we pick it up because we know it's valuable to us, but it's not valuable to them. So
now they just got sick ass pictures of them all the time. It's
I just need to work on getting like myself out there too. Like, I need to get more online, I guess, as you say. Post more videos, get camera on me. But a lot of times I'm riding solo. Yeah. So a lot of people don't understand, like, I don't get footage and shit. Like, I be riding by myself a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, in that statement, man, like I said, it's just things, like I said, it would have to be like we were saying about going on a little ride, jumping on the bike.
Oh, it's game over. As soon as Sturgis happens this year, don't know who Bam is.
But
sure.
But
like,
me and bro
as soon as Sturgis happens and we go mob around Sturgis on how
Well, I was telling him, I was like,
really
dude,
know.
I don't think it's very wise to go like mob the way we mobbed. You ain't getting away. They're out there for blood.
Yeah.
They ship. There's two things that people ship into Sturgis: cops and bitches. Right. So there's gonna be a bunch of chicks at the damn bars serving you beer, and there's gonna be cops from 500-mile radius all coming there to make some money for that state. So the stunt riding thing is very. We got shit just for hauling ass. You know what I mean? So, and we can kind of get away with that sometimes. You on one wheel, selective, like that's
selective where you can do it. I guess Legends had a little area over there.
So Legends has a big parking lot that they do a lot of stuff, which would be very good for anybody to go out there. It's kind of like one of those things, like it's kind of like the if you want to show the world your talent, other than using the means of like social media, you kind of have to go throw the talent in their face.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying?
That's why the guys that get sponsored are sponsored.
Yeah, is
because those are the guys. For instance, like Joe. He's sponsored by the Harley Davidson dealership in his town, and he's got sponsored by Bell. He's got some things going for him, and but that's why, like at Daytona Bike Week, they're there. At Sturgis, they're there. At ROC, they're there. At Miami Bike Week, they're there. Like at fucking if there's events going, like they're there. Like even though they might have $1,000 in their fucking pocket to their name, like they're still mobbing across town to go ride their motorcycle in front of whoever will let them. And those are the people I think that the companies, because that's how you get to meet the people that own the businesses or the people that are in the position to sponsor you something, is you got to go put yourself out there and meet them. And
you also got to think that a lot of people that run social media pages aren't the people that own the businesses all the time.
Right.
And especially with the bigger companies and shit like that. So you have to deal with the fact that, like, if I'm boys with all the dudes on the East Coast and I run, this isn't the case, but say I run the Legends page, right? I'm going to repost more of their shit. I'm going to be like, yo, dude, this is the guys you want to fuck with. Check them out, because I might have a friendship or another connection to those guys, versus really being biased and looking for talent everywhere and to exploit or to bring onto your team or whatever. You know what I mean?
So, no, for sure. Yeah, I think it's just a matter of, like I said.
Yeah, if y'all go to Sturgis,
putting people in front,
even if you, I mean, it sucks, but even if you had to like rock a bell, you know what I mean, just to be seen in that situation, still, man.
But a lot of people don't care. Like for myself, like
I would just go to the Legends thing. Anybody can do that.
Yeah, of course. I care less about sponsors as I do just riding my bike and having a good time with my homies. You know what I mean?
Well, would you say that like it means a lot to be respected by your peers in the stunt scene, and if everybody
by my peers, yeah, more so than than people that don't, like the people that are, I feel like at least the people that are in the stunt community in this area, like, or maybe the people I've met out of town, like I think that they all have a really good positive opinion of myself, but like that means more to me than it does like if the people who own Kawasaki or
True. So what I'm
some
saying
shit
is like,
think I'm
if
cool.
y'all go to Sturgis and let's say y'all went to the Legends deal, you're going to be riding next to, for lack of a better term, the who's who of the Harley stunt world, right?
Yeah.
And so to go out there and shine and show off your skills is like what I mean, like showing, like being, getting to know the people that are your peers in that thing and
No, for
getting
sure.
the same kind of respect.
Yeah,
because
because we don't know.
skills.
We
Yeah.
haven't been in it long enough to even know who those people are. Yeah, but that is a good chance. Like that's when, you start seeing a lot of those guys that are sponsored, get sponsored was around, Sturgis and stuff. Like when people see them ride, like that's what it takes, So
Like I said,
you can be a small town hero on a Harley, but if you don't go travel around the country, like ain't nobody gonna know who you are. Like
there's also something different, like watching you ride on the street versus if you were to confine that into a parking lot. I feel like the street, there was no end to the wheelie. You could do so many more combinations on your wheelie versus if you have the end of that parking lot down the way, like you have to do things quicker. And I think that maybe, in my opinion, like when I saw you riding on the street, it was way more enjoyable because you did something and then you moved and you did this all with a little bit more of a
there's
of a
more
flow.
area to have style.
It's when I think about it all the time, I associate it to skateboarding, man. Like there's certain guys in the skateboard game that when they did a fucking kickflip, it just looked good.
Because
there's other dudes
3.5, 4 foot high,
Yeah.
Well, like I said, wait till we can go to the skate park. Watch when you see me skate. I still got it in me, bro.
So it's like you see certain dudes do the same thing, but for some reason, like that just has way more fucking style to it. You know what I mean, or way more something.
I got my own style with my shit, man. Like if you see me ride, like I do my own shit. Like you can tell the way I move, the way I transition, get out of my tricks. Like Haley will tell you, like.
But the street is where you're going to get the style from. That's where like people's style shines, I guess, because that's where you can enter. Because in the parking lot, it's limited. Like there's those people sitting in the sidelines or whatever. But like on the street, it's different because you're on one wheel and like there goes some dude and his chick, and maybe you blow his old lady a kiss and wave at them. The little kids are over there, and you can. Put on a show for them. The little kids over there looking at you. You can flip up the visor at them. Fucking, flip up the helmet, blow them a kiss.
Do like Haley
down.
did in the ROC and throw some money. He start throwing money everywhere while he wheeling.
At ROC,
He had a whole band of money.
My first year ROC, we went to the strip club beforehand because homie told me, he's like, man, you got to make a name for it. It's your first ROC. You got to do something to be remembered by. I was like, shit, I'm gonna go up there. I got it. So I thought about it, and we went to the strip club before the main ride. I got $300 in ones, and I put them in my pocket with no rubber band, and so just in mid wheelie through the ride, just grabbing
foot breaking it.
Foot break them in the wheelie, throwing money on the whole ride, and just didn't waste
That's
it.
a fucking flex right there, dude.
Yeah, so I got a dope shot, man. Hanson got a shot of me over the Mississippi River, coming on the bridge on the Mississippi River with the arch in the background, and I'm throwing, and there's like $3 bills like coming out of my hand, like just the perfect fucking
Looks
shot.
photoshopped.
It does. Looks photoshopped as hell.
But it was real. I was like, my bro.
Perfect shot, man. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
But that's I don't know.
In a sense, like a lot of dudes had to do that type of shit in the Harley thing too. I mean, think about like, it's almost like to get the internet sensation on.
You got to do different shit.
Yeah, it's like CJ did the naked wheelie with his chick on it, and then that kind of boomed his stunt career in a sense.
Right.
And then
same with like Steve getting a haircut during quarantine on his motorcycle through St. Louis. Like you got to do.
You got to do the crazy shit sometimes, but. I as somebody, like, I can always appreciate just pure talent, style, swag, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a little bit of a hater, you know what I mean? In a sense, like, I don't, like, this motherfucker just did that for this, man. Like, earn it the old-fashioned way. Get out there and fucking pull yourself up by your bootstraps and learn how to wheelie right. Like, don't do the gimmick shit,
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, that's just the old man in me. That's the old Clint Eastwood, like, get off my lawn shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, I dig it, man. It's fun. It's fun knowing you guys because, like, I don't want to do any of this shit, but it's cool to, like,
you can live vicariously through us.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool. I think at the end of this year, by the end of this summer, this whole riding season, I guess we have all year, but in the next couple of years, I think it'll be cool to see where the Harley stunt scene goes, especially for Dallas, because just all those guys, like, there's still another 6 or 8 guys that 100% for sure are coming over, and like when they do, like, they can ride,
Yeah.
So I'm excited for them guys to come back over, and it's just gonna make it bigger. And then once I mean, once you got 20 or 30 guys doing wheelies in a city, like
Yeah.
that's what's going to be the thing now, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a.
It's going to weed out the hell yeah brothers and give us some more of the
Some good times.
Yeah, I just been chilling. I'm Cadillac and I'm gonna be on the Harley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody be hitting me up, get back on there for it ain't the
Yeah, me
same type shit. Like
people talk shit
Yeah.
and they want you to come back over because
it is what it is. But I got my uncle's bike sitting, just chilling. Like
Well, at the same time, like you have to, it's the same concept for me why I went from a sport bike to the Harley in the first place. Is it not that you mastered everything there is to master in the sport bike, but you just kind of need a change to like re-inspire and reinvigorate, the passion for riding. And sometimes a bike change is the key. Like I've always said with sport bikes, is like I could never do anything fun on that bike that was legal. You know what I mean? I always, if I was on it, it was either hauling ass, trying to wheelie, doing something crazy. In a sense that, like I can never just hop on my bike. I'm always like, I still have that whole like paranoia when I ride because I'm used to looking for cops all the time. I know headlights, taillights. I know how to watch the cars ahead. If just so much shit that I'm glad that I did. But like I said, like you have to kind of evolve. Otherwise, you're going to get burnt out. And you know what I mean? You got to find that new thing. And sometimes for, like in y'all's case, it's going sport bikes to Harleys. In my case, it was going to Harleys, but on the travel aspect, on the like, I want to ride this bike across country and do some easy rider type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
which that's cool too. I'm trying to do some of
dude,
that.
I mean, I don't know
Because that's just it's something different, you know.
I can tell you, like we kind of touched on it earlier. I can tell you that fucking that it's the most amazing, freeing, liberating, just fucking coolest thing in the world. But I've also never wheelied a bike like you guys did, so I don't know if I could say that it's better. You know what I mean?
It's different though. It's just like the camp out though. The camp out was different than like a stunt ride, but it wasn't worse. It's not like a stunt ride's better or
It's just different.
It's a completely different way, a different experience to be able to enjoy your motorcycle, and for that alone, it's
for sure.
badass. Like the more ways I can find to love my motorcycle,
the better
chance
I
I
mean, you
have.
see me, bro, cheesing. Like, I was cheesing in my helmet, bro.
Yeah.
That's just me, like, especially when I ride with Haley, you know what I'm saying? Like, certain people I like riding with, bro. It's like, I don't like riding with a lot of people. I will. But, like, the people that I, like, mash with, that I know, like, bro can come over there and fucking, if I say, bro, like, twist my throttle, like, and I'm going to do the brake, like, I know bro got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, touch my tire, touch my foot. Like, a lot of these little new dudes, they be, like, getting in the rod, they'll touch a tire, do some shit. Like, it's not that, like, I can't control it. Like, you don't know me like that. Like, don't touch my shit. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like riding the corners with your buddies. Like, y'all know who can ride and how people ride, so y'all know how to
Like, I can ride next to Haley. We could be this close, bro. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm not going to hit him. He know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't panic. If I come at, don't go over somewhere and then put somebody else in danger. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know
like,
how we ride.
if he's coming at me in a wheelie and I'm in a wheelie in my lane, like, he's gonna hit me before, like, I'm not gonna swerve in a minute, like, because I know he's got it. Like, if I just stay straight, like,
Just stay,
he'll be good.
no panic.
Yeah, it's what happens when you ride with people a lot. You kind of know their abilities, and you get in sync, and you can kind of just mob and weave through traffic and through the roads and feel like you're both riding on rails together, basically.
Yeah, because a lot of people can't ride side by side. You know what I'm saying?
And I'll be honest with you, I try not to a lot because I have a big bike, and I'm always paying attention, but I space out a lot. Sometimes.
So do I sometimes.
And I just I like having my whole lane. I like riding staggered more than anything. There are times like when you're kind of cruising into a spot, I love the whole like side by side thing. But if we're cruising down the highway on a trip, like, bro, don't ride next to me, man.
Hey,
Give me some space.
me and my bro rode to Houston, bro. Like, I had my bro right here, and I'm in the middle of my other bro. We ride lines. There's three of us riding one lane.
Damn.
Mobbing from all the way to Houston. Just mobbing.
That sounds like a lot of work.
I need some space.
I got a picture. Yeah, I got the picture. I'll show you. We was mobbing.
Cool. All right, well, we're at 2.5 hours, so tell everybody your Instagram.
My Instagram is Str8up Bam 3 Stunts. That's Str8up _ Bam 3 Stunts. And thanks for having me, bro.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm Lot Lizard, LOT _ Lizard, the lizard of the lot.
Yeah.
All right, cool, guys. I appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I appreciate you listening to this podcast. I also want to thank you guys for hopefully checking out our sponsors, Dream Rides John on Instagram and teamdreamrides.com. Don't forget about that 100 days, same as cash. Paint Huffer Metal Flake on Instagram and painthuffer.com, and Fast Life Stunt13 at checkout for 10% off. Thundermax EFI on Instagram and shoptmax.com. Lexan Moto on Instagram and lexan-moto.com, and Fast Life for 15% off. SBC Performance on Instagram and sbcperformance.com, and Fast Life at checkout for 10% off to check those guys out. The Invisivin at Invisivin on Instagram, invisivin.com, and Fast Life checkout 15%. I jumbled those words up, but they're right there. Check them out. Thank you guys for checking it out. If you want to support this podcast more than just checking out our sponsors, you can always go to our website, fastlifegarage.com, and click on that link to become a patron. And hopefully once this COVID shit kind of gets over, goes away, we can get back to doing some giveaways and get our sponsors and do some things and, whatever, man. I'm just trying to get through this fucking hard time. So anyway, check it out. Thank you for joining us again. We'll be back again here soon with some more podcasting for you dudes and chicks and shit. Peace.